Chapter 348. Don't bother Jing Xiaolu in the future, okay? Gu Xinyao glanced at Li Longshui, who was standing there stupidly. I want to become stronger. Brother Hai, let me follow you. Li Longshui suddenly said very excitedly. Okay, save it. You should study hard in school. This society is much more complicated than you think. Bai Hai looked at Li Longshui sympathetically. He shook his head and left with Gu Xinyao and the underlings. Do you know him? Qin Mengyan stared at Yang Ming and asked, didn't you just say that he is a friend of Zhou Ruoguang? Yang Ming was stared at by Qin Mengyan and felt a chill down his spine. Why is her memory so good? She can remember it at a glance? However, it was also because Bai Hai's dressing was too gangster. It was normal for Qin Mengyan to have a deeper impression of him. You can say that I know him, but I'm not familiar with him, Yang Ming said vaguely. Then where did he take Zhou Ruoguang? Qin Mengyan frowned and asked, Yang Ming, you wouldn't ask others to beat him up, right? So what if I asked someone to beat him up? Yang Ming was a little upset by Qin Mengyan's question. He harassed my wife and I just looked at it like that. You? Qin Mengyan was so angry that she stomped her foot. I have never seen such a barbaric person like you. How can you use force to solve problems? Besides, what's wrong with him sending me flowers? Wouldn't it be fine if I didn't accept it? Why did you beat him up? Why? Do you still feel sorry for him? Yang Ming was also a little angry. She actually quarreled with him because of a dumb-ass man. Unreasonable. Qin Mengyan turned and walked forward quickly. Wait. Yang Ming saw Qin Mengyan turn and leave. He also regretted it. Was I too harsh with my words? We just got back together and now we are quarreling because of a dumb-ass man. It's not worth it. Stop following me. Qin Mengyan was still angry. She just wanted to teach Yang Ming a lesson for solving everything with his fists. Was there anything that couldn't be solved in a civilized manner? If he fought all day long, what difference was there between him and a hooligan? It had to be said that Qin Mengyan had developed a sense of justice under Qin Fei's imperceptible influence since she was young. Mengyan, I was wrong, okay? Yang Ming admitted his mistake. There was a saying that went, admitting your mistake to your wife is a sign of loving her, so it's not shameful. Qin Mengyan ignored him and continued to walk forward. Damn. Yang Ming was a little impatient. That was Bai Hai's meddling. I didn't instruct him. Who are you trying to impress with that face of yours? If she didn't want to follow, then so be it. Yang Ming was also angry. He turned and walked away quickly. Qin Mengyan walked straight ahead. Suddenly she couldn't hear Yang Ming's words. She was a little surprised. When she turned around, Yang Ming had already walked away. Qin Mengyan was so angry. She raised the doll that Yang Ming gave her and was about to throw it on the ground. However, her hand stopped in midair. Damn, Yang Ming, you are really good. I finally wanted to forgive you, but you still want to be unreasonable with me. You can be unreasonable, but it's best that you don't come to me again. Qin Mengyan said angrily. Although she said so on the way to the teaching building, Qin Mengyan couldn't help but look back. She hoped that Yang Ming would suddenly appear by her side. Until they reached the door of the teaching building, Qin Mengyan still didn't give up and said to herself, well, Yang Ming, if you can say sorry to me now, I will forgive you. Unfortunately, Yang Ming didn't appear. Yang Ming was also angry. What's the relationship between Zhou Ruoguang and you? Are you speaking for him? Besides, I didn't do anything to him. Bai Hai teaching him a lesson is Bai Hai's business. It proves that the kid's practice is really disgusting. AI. Yang Ming sighed. I'll see how it goes in the afternoon. While he was sighing, there was a song suddenly. Yang Ming didn't pay attention and continued to walk forward. But he suddenly found that the students who passed by the campus looked at him strangely, which made Yang Ming feel very inexplicable. That singing voice was still coming back to him. Suddenly Yang Ming suddenly recovered. He took out the Nokia N that Bai Hai gave him from his pocket. Sure enough, this guy is ringing. Yang Ming sweated. No wonder these people are looking at me. It's my phone. Yang Ming quickly pressed the answer button. Hello, asked Yang Ming. Yang Ming, why did you take so long to answer the phone? Xiao Qing's voice came over. Sister Xiao Qing, I just changed my phone. When it rang, I thought it wasn't mine. It took me a long time to react. Yang Ming said with some shame. It turned out to be like this. Xiao Qing said, right, do you have time later? Later? What for? Could it be that Sister Xiao Qing misses me? It's very possible. We haven't seen each other for a few days. So Yang Ming said, okay, I'll go to your house. Go to my house. What for? Xiao Qing was stunned, but then she reacted. Damn kid, what are you thinking? I have something to look for you. Huh. Well. Yang Ming was also stunned and then said awkwardly, I'm just kidding, hee hee. Okay, don't mess around. This is the case. This morning the police station called and asked me to go over. It's about Wang Xuefan's case. Can you go with me? Xiao Qing didn't know why, but this morning when she received a call from the police station, the first person she thought of was Yang Ming. Although Xiao Qing felt that this wasn't a good phenomenon, and it wasn't a good habit, now she did start to rely on Yang Ming. Xiao Qing also constantly reminded herself that her relationship with Yang Mingming on the surface was that of a brother and sister, not a couple. However, another voice was telling Xiao Qing that with the cover of the identity of brother and sister, it was more justifiable to rely on him. Therefore Xiao Qing couldn't help but call Yang Ming. Originally, there was no need to trouble Yang Ming with a small matter like going to the police station, but Xiao Qing just wanted to. Okay, no problem. No. Asked Yang Ming. Now where are you? Asked Xiao Qing. I'm near the computer science building. What about you? Said Yang Ming. Then you wait for me. I'm upstairs. I'm going down now. Xiao Qing finished and hung up the phone. Yang Ming called Zhang Bin again. This latest mobile phone is so cool. Feels different when I hold it in my hand. Hello? Bro, didn't you reconcile with sister-in-law? Why is sister-in-law coming to school today in a huff? But she is holding a bouquet of roses and the set of dolls you brought back from Hong Kong. Zhang Bin didn't wait for Yang Ming to speak and spoke first. The problem is very complicated. The person named Zhou Ruoguang came to give flowers to Qin Mengyan today. One of my friends taught him a lesson. Qin Mengyan said that I was barbaric, so we quarreled. Yang Ming said with some helplessness, let's talk about this later. Did you use the car this morning? I'm in school. Why would I use the car? You're asking nonsense. Zhang Bin said with contempt, if you want to use it, then use it. Right, it seems that the price of oil has been adjusted. When you come back, help me fill it up. Okay, but you still lack that money. Yang Ming smiled. Damn, if there's an advantage, then I'm a fool. Said Zhang Bin. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Qing also walked out. Yang Ming quickly greeted her. Sister Xiao Qing, is your injury okay? It's okay. It doesn't hurt anymore. Xiao Qing smiled and said, I didn't expect you to care about me. If I don't care about you, who do I care about? Yang Ming put the phone back in his pocket and said, does that mean that we can? You're not serious. You're talking about this when we meet. I'm really sad as your sister. I'm actually a tool for you to vent your desires. Xiao Qing pretended to be sad. How can that be? Yang Ming quickly explained, Sister Xiao Qing, don't think too much. Otherwise, I won't ask you for anything in the future. Hee hee, I'm just joking with you. Look at how nervous you are. Xiao Qing smiled and said, let's wait until we're done at noon. Is that okay? How could Yang Ming not agree? Xiao Qing also enjoyed the feeling of being with Yang Ming. They weren't a couple in name, but they cared more about each other than a couple. At least Xiao Qing was like this. She felt that if Yang Ming was happy, she would be happy, so she wouldn't refuse the request made by Yang Ming. Let's drive Zhang Bin's car. Yang Ming shook the car key in his hand. Why is this car almost the same as your own? Xiao Qing shook her head. Right, did you get a new phone? A friend gave it to me. What's wrong? Yang Ming suddenly thought of something. Sister Xiao Qing, why don't you buy the same style? Let's make a couple's phone. Forget it. If your girlfriend saw it, what would she think? Xiao Qing shook her head and said. It's okay. Can't we use the same phone as siblings? It's settled. Said Yang Ming. Chapter 349. They drove to the police station. Because they didn't have a pass, they were stopped by the guard at the door. Who are you looking for? Asked the guard. Who are you looking for? Yang Ming turned and asked Xiao Qing. Just let me go to the Economic Investigation Department of the 3rd Bureau. I don't know who to look for. Xiao Qing said to the guard. That won't work. Without a specific person, vehicles can't enter the courtyard. The guard said. Then if we stop at the door, aren't we waiting for a ticket? Yang Ming said helplessly. I can't help it. I'm doing it according to the rules. The guard replied with a blank expression. It was estimated that he had said this countless times, so he didn't have any expression. Right, I know Xia Shui from the criminal investigation team. Yang Ming suddenly remembered that he still had acquaintances in the police station. Xia Shui. Which one? The guard was obviously unfamiliar with the name Xia Shui. I also know their captain Chen Fei. Yang Ming quickly added. Oh, Captain Chen. The guard immediately said, why didn't you say so earlier? Let's go in. Yang Ming drove into the police station's courtyard and found a place to stop. It seemed that Uncle Chen was still quite useful. He didn't know that he had just defended Uncle Chen's daughter. He accompanied Xiao Qing to the Economic Investigation Department and found Officer Ma, who was in charge of the case. In fact, the matter was very simple. Wang Shifan had already told Wang Shuifan that someone wanted to mess with him. If he came out, it would be more dangerous. It was better to go to jail. Therefore, Wang Shuifan admitted all the crimes. He was afraid that his sentence was too light and he would be retaliated by that force. Therefore, he even mentioned the previous medical software. In this way, there was no need to collect evidence. The criminal suspect could directly go to court if he confessed. This matter is probably like this. Do you want to testify in court? Asked Officer Ma. Can I not testify? Asked Xiao Qing. Because now Wang Shuifan has confessed, and Professor Wu Tongshan from your university has agreed to appear in court, so it doesn't matter if you testify or not. No matter how good the lawyer is, he can't reverse the current situation. Officer Ma said truthfully. Then can I think about it? Asked Xiao Qing. Of course you can. You are not a direct witness, so I'm just asking for your opinion. Officer Ma smiled. After leaving the police station, Xiao Qing consulted Yang Ming. Yang Ming, do you think I should testify? I don't think it's necessary. Professor Wu is enough. Yang Ming shook his head. It didn't matter if Xiao Qing went or not. Wang Shufan was now rushing to plead guilty. Well, I will listen to you. I will call and reject them in a while. It's not good to reject them directly now, said Xiao Qing. Where are we going now? Xiao Qing looked at the time. It was only 10 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't noon yet. I'll buy you a new phone first. The one you're using now is a little outdated. Yang Ming said, you are now a leader of the school. How can the dean use such a broken phone? Then you mean that the dean should be corrupted? Xiao Qing asked with a smile. Isn't this a gift from a younger brother to an older sister? It's an older sister. Yang Ming laughed. I can't win against you. Well then let's buy one. Xiao Qing also felt that her phone wasn't very good recently. The battery was dead in a day and sometimes the screen didn't display. Yang Ming and Xiao Qing were just about to get in the car. Suddenly there was a shout from behind. Yang Ming. Stop right there. Yang Ming was shocked. He had some conditioned reflexes to this voice. He subconsciously raised his hands. Why did you raise your hands? Xiao Qing asked, baffled. Even Xia Shui, who caught up, looked at Yang Ming strangely. Yang Ming, did you do something wrong? Xia Shui stared at Yang Ming with a suspicious look. Big sister, you shoot at the slightest thing. How can I not raise my hands? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. You are violent enough. Do you think you are shooting a movie? You shoot at the slightest thing. Last time I was riding a motorcycle and I was almost killed by you. Didn't I have a psychological shadow? Puchi. Xia Shui said with a smile. I shot at the sky last time. Do you really think I can shoot you? I'm just scaring you. Now these biker gangs are very rampant. If you don't fire a warning shot, will they stop? Why didn't you say so earlier? I thought you were aiming at me. I was so excited at the time. I thought I was in an American movie. Yang Ming put down his hands and said helplessly, I want to shoot you. Do you think you can still stand and talk to me now? Xia Shui said with a snort. I want to shoot you. It seems to be very ambiguous, but Yang Ming was used to Xia Shui's way of speaking. Compared to the previous pushdown, this was not shocking. What are you doing in a hurry? Why did you hide in the car when you saw me? Xia Shui asked. Police officer Xia, which eye of yours saw me hiding in the car? I am openly trying to get in the car and then I am openly preparing to leave here. Do you understand? Yang Ming was a bit angry. Is there a problem with your way of using words? I really don't know what her grades were in the past. You didn't see me? Xia Shui asked. Please, you are wearing a police uniform today. Most people in this police station are wearing a police uniform. I didn't look at you carefully. Yang Ming was telling the truth. He was busy playing ambiguous with Xiao Qing. How could he have time to look at other things? Forget it. I thought you deliberately avoided me and didn't want to treat me to a meal. Xia Shui said with a shrug. How could that be? If you are worried, why don't I treat you now? Asked Yang Ming. No need. Another day. I have a mission in a while. Xia Shui shook her head. Right, do you know my second uncle? Who is your second uncle? Asked Yang Ming. Xia Jidong. Xia Shui said. I don't know. I only know people with the surname Xia. You are the only one. Right, I also know Lulu. Yang Ming began to talk nonsense. Lulu? Xia Shui was stunned, then she clenched her teeth and said, Yang Ming, what are you thinking in your head all day long? Why are you so dark? Can't you think of something more positive? Yes. Yang Ming nodded and said seriously, isn't it just a matter of being a little more open? It's easy. Or if you have a son in the future, I will name him Yang Guangming. This is a very positive thing. If I have a son named Yang Guangming? Why Yang Guangming? Xia Shui repeated it to herself. Suddenly her face turned green instantly. Her eyes were about to burst into flames. She shouted, Yang Ming. You are going to die for me immediately. Huh. Yang Ming smiled and quickly pulled Xiaoqing into the car. Ping. Xia Shui kicked the door and a big hole appeared in an instant. Xia Shui was still angry. She kicked a few more times before she limped away. Yang Ming was convulsing with laughter in the driver's seat. Do you think you are Ultraman? You still want to kick iron? It would be strange if you don't die from pain. Yang Ming, why are you so bad? Xiaoqing was also a little amused. Your mouth, you don't know how to control your mouth. Hee, it's okay. We are used to quarreling. Yang Ming said indifferently, Sister Xiaoqing, you don't know. Last time I was riding a motorcycle on the road and this violent girl actually shot at me. I was almost scared to death. Xiaoqing was silent and asked, do you like her? Like her? Huh. Yang Ming laughed exaggeratedly. Are you kidding me? Xiaoqing shook her head and said nothing. Is it my illusion? But it doesn't matter. As long as Yang Ming is happy, it's fine. Yang Ming parked the car in front of a relatively large telecommunications store and then went in. Directly to the Nokia counter, Yang Ming asked, do you have a Nokia N98 mobile phone here? Nokia N98? The salesperson said, sir, this mobile phone hasn't been listed yet. Now in Nokia's high-end phone, the highest model is the N96. There is no N98. Not listed? Yang Ming took out his mobile phone and asked, if it isn't listed, where did I get this? Sorry, sir. You may have been cheated. This is a knockoff. The shape imitates Apple's iPhone. Nokia has not officially launched the N98 yet. The salesperson shrugged and said apologetically, knockoff? Yang Ming felt that his face was a little hot. Motherfucker, this Bai Hai actually dared to use a knockoff to confuse me? This is so embarrassing. If I had known, I would have checked it first. Yang Ming quickly put the mobile phone back into his pocket and said with some embarrassment, maybe it is. This was given to me by a friend. Then you can show me the N96. Chapter 350. Okay, sir, please wait a moment. The quality of the salesperson was still very good. He didn't ridicule Yang Ming for buying a counterfeit phone. Yang Ming scolded Bai Hai 10 times in his heart. He got a counterfeit phone and let me come to the counter to embarrass myself. In fact, Bai Hai really couldn't be blamed for this. Bai Hai lost his cell phone 2 days ago. Because it was late, the big telecommunication centers were closed. Gu Xinyao and Bai Hai came to a small telecommunication store. After entering, Gu Xinyao, the rich girl, must have started to show off. She directly asked for the most expensive one. The owner of the telecommunication store was also black-hearted. He took out a counterfeit phone and boasted that it was Nokia's latest high-end phone, the N98. Gu Xinyao and Bai Hai didn't quite understand. They saw that it looked quite good, so they asked for the price. When the black-hearted boss saw Gu Xinyao's outfit, he knew that she was a rich person. He directly quoted a high price of 8,800. Gu Xinyao didn't say anything and paid for it. The quality of the current counterfeit phone was also good. Besides, this phone was used to fool people, so it was really good. Bai Hai used it for a few days and didn't find any flaws. In fact, the biggest difference between the counterfeit phone and the original phone was that the counterfeit phone wasn't smart. However, people at Bai Hai's level didn't need any smart functions at all, so he didn't see through it. The black-hearted boss also thought of this, so he dared to sell the phone to them. The salesperson brought 2 N96s. One was a limited edition and the other was an ordinary black one. Then he said to Yang Ming, The limited edition is the latest version with 16 gigabytes of memory. The black one is the ordinary version with 8 gigabytes of memory. They look the same. This limited edition is so beautiful. Xiaoqing couldn't help but admire. How much is the limited edition? Yang Ming asked directly. The limited edition is just listed, so the price is higher. The current price is 7,999 yuan. The black one is cheaper. The current price is 4,999 yuan. The salesperson introduced. The limited edition is so much more expensive than the black one. Yang Ming couldn't help but be shocked. It was almost the same thing, but it could be sold at such an expensive price with just a little modification. This price is set according to the factory price. We can't do anything about it, the salesperson said. Can't it be cheaper? Xiaoqing also felt that it was a bit expensive. Although Yang Ming was a rich man, he couldn't spend money recklessly. How many do you want? The salesman asked. Of course I want one. I can't have one in my left hand and one in my right hand. Xiaoqing smiled. Does your husband not want it? How about this? You can use the limited edition. It's fine for a girl to use a fancy one. Your husband can use a black one. It's perfect for couples. Even if you take out that counterfeit phone, it won't make you look noble. The salesperson said. Yang Ming didn't mind. The awkwardness just now was because he had put his phone on the counter. So what if he used a knockoff machine outside? Anyway, it didn't matter if he was thick-skinned. However, the salesperson's words made Yang Ming feel very comfortable. The words, your husband and couple's phone, made Yang Ming feel very comfortable. So he simply nodded and said, then what's the price of buying two? If you buy two, you can enjoy the couple's price, which is a 10% discount. The salesperson said. Well, you can issue the invoice. Yang Ming nodded and said, hey, please wait. The salesperson quickly issued the invoice happily. Such an expensive thing. Why are you in such a hurry to buy it? Xiaoqing complained. Isn't this saving time? We can go back and spend more time together. Since the salesperson already knew the relationship between the two, Yang Ming didn't avoid anything when he spoke. Anyway, no one knew them. After paying the money and testing the function of the phone, Yang Ming and Xiaoqing hurriedly left the telecommunications market. Yang Ming, you are indeed very rich, but you can't just spend it. Xiaoqing looked at the phone in her hand that was worth more than 7,000 yuan. She felt that it wasn't worth so much money. Don't worry, Sister Xiaoqing. I'm going to start my own company soon. Of course, I won't rely on the money that my godfather left me for a lifetime. Yang Ming smiled and said, otherwise, how can I support you? It seems that I can spend a lot of money. Xiaoqing snorted. In fact, your sister's own salary isn't low. If you include the dividends of the development project, I can get millions of yuan a year. Really? Yang Ming looked at Xiaoqing in surprise. He didn't expect Xiaoqing to be a little rich woman with an annual income of more than 1,000,000 yuan. You know the crisis, right? But you don't have to worry too much. You can start your own business after you graduate from university. Xiaoqing comforted Yang Ming. At most, your sister will support you in the future. I don't want to be a gigolo. Yang Ming shook his head quickly. But Sister Xiaoqing, you are so rich. Why don't you buy a car? Buy a car? The apartment I live in is next to the university. What do you think I need to buy a car? Just get in the car and get out? Xiaoqing shrugged. I have to go out to refuel once. This is also true. Yang Ming nodded. Sister Xiaoqing, why don't you consider buying a bigger house? I'm alone. What do I need such a big house for? There is a house, but it is written in Song Hang's name. I don't plan to buy it. Xiaoqing sighed. Besides, I am closer to my parents. I can visit them at any time. If I live in a big house, I will feel empty. Yang Ming felt that this was indeed the case after listening. However, when he heard that Song Hang actually occupied the house, he couldn't help but feel a little angry. Didn't he go to Hong Kong? Why is he still occupying your house? It's not really my house. The new house was bought by me and Song Hang together. At that time, the house price was still relatively cheap. I borrowed some money and bought it, but it was written in his name at that time. Xiaoqing said indifferently, anyway, I haven't lived there for a day, and I have never regarded it as my house. Right, Sister Xiaoqing, I felt strange when I was in Hong Kong. I haven't had time to ask you. Is it that when Song Hang said that you are a jinx, he meant that you are a white tiger? Yang Ming looked at Xiaoqing with a deep meaning and asked. You can say anything. Xiao Qing's face suddenly turned red. It's just like that. How did Song Heng know that you are a white tiger? Did he see it? Yang Ming asked. What are you thinking? How could he have seen it? My body hasn't even been touched by him. After Xiao Qing finished this sentence, she felt a little embarrassed. Why am I like a little girl who is anxious to prove my innocence to my lover? He knows because he asked the doctor. The doctor said that my fertility is a problem and the bare part is also caused by this reason. It turns out to be like this. Song Heng is a real idiot. While Yang Ming scolded him, he was thanking Song Heng in his heart for sending him such a good woman like Sister Xiao Qing. Cough cough. Sister Xiao Qing was so happy that she was a little out of breath. She coughed. Yang Ming, can you be so funny? Hee, am I not telling the truth? Yang Ming said with a smile. You see, when I met him in Hong Kong this time, it was obvious that this guy was already regretting it. Really? Anyway, I don't have any feelings for him. He is even stranger to me than a stranger. It's just that what he said is really disgusting. Xiao Qing said with some sadness. That day what Song Heng said really hurt Xiao Qing's heart. However, Xiao Qing didn't care now. Since she and Yang Ming couldn't get married, then they definitely couldn't have children, so it wasn't a problem whether she could have children or not. Moreover, it was better if she couldn't get pregnant, than she could. Thinking of this, Xiao Qing's face was a little hot. I didn't expect that I would be obsessed with this matter now. It turned out that I only solved it myself when I had a physiological need. But now when she thought of Yang Ming, she couldn't help but feel hot all over. Yang Ming drove directly to the apartment where Xiao Qing lived, and then the two people quickly went upstairs. As soon as they entered the house, they hugged each other. The satisfaction of loving each other and the excitement of having an affair instantly ignited the lust of the two people. Bai Hai gave the cell phone to Yang Ming. He didn't have a cell phone himself, so after dealing with Jing Xiaolu's matter, Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao took a taxi to the telecommunications market. Because the previous cell phone was easy to use, Bai Hai asked for the N98 cell phone as soon as he arrived at the Nokia counter. Why are there so many people looking for the N98 today? The salesman muttered to himself and then said to Bai Hai, Sir, Nokia hasn't launched the N98 cell phone model yet. The current model is the N96. Oh? N96. Impossible. I used the N98 a few days ago. Bai Hai retorted directly. Chapter 351. It's the black color, touchscreen and a mobile phone with a camera in front and back. Bai Hai explained. Sir, it seems that you are also a victim of the counterfeit phone. The salesperson said, just now, a gentleman brought a counterfeit N98 and wanted to buy the same model. According to him, it was given to him by a friend. It seems that there are a lot of victims. Just now. A friend gave it to me. Bai Hai was stunned and quickly asked carefully, what did that person look like? Was he about 20 years old, 180 centimeters tall, wearing a black trench coat? Yeah, sir, do you know him? The salesperson was stunned. Bai Hai slapped his thigh and said secretly, this is bad. I'm done for. He might as well not have flattered her at all. The person I just mentioned is Yang Ming, and Yang Ming took the mobile phone that I gave him to embarrass himself here. He will definitely vent his anger on me. Motherfucker. Bai Hai scolded, in a while I will fucking smash the communication store. Brother Hai, is that person Brother Yang? Gu Xinyao asked with some fear. Most likely. Bai Hai smiled bitterly. What is this? I wanted to flatter him, but I didn't expect the result to be like this. Ah. Gu Xinyao was also full of sadness after listening. This is the end of it. Well, waiter, what is the most high-end model of Nokia here? Bai Hai could only think of a way not to save. Now the most high-end model is the limited edition of the Nokia N96. The price is $79.99. Seeing that the two people in front of him were definitely rich, the salesperson directly reported the price. Can you give me 3 units? Bai Hai said. Why 3 units? Do you have enough for one person? Gu Xinyao was a bit baffled. Although she didn't care about the money, she still felt that it was a waste of space to buy useless things. 2 units to give as gifts. Bai Hai said, I gave Brother Yang a counterfeit phone. I have to make up for it. That's right, but you don't need 2 units, right? It doesn't seem appropriate for you to give as gifts like this, right? Gu Xinyao wondered. Brother Yang has so many girlfriends. It's okay to give them as gifts. Bai Hai said. Well, I want 3 units. Gu Xinyao instructed. Gu Xinyao didn't even talk about the price and paid the money. The salesperson was so happy. Today he made such a big deal. It seemed that he could get a lot of commission. In addition, a telecommunications store in the city was attacked by gangsters, and the owner of the store was seriously injured. Speaking of which, it was depressing. What kind of special operation was this? It was just going to a multi-level marketing company to arrest related people. There was no challenge at all. Since Xia Shui became a police officer, she participated in this kind of case the most. Those that were slightly more important would be excluded. Anyway, she was bored. Xia Shui was going to Lin Jiyun's house to sit down and inquire about Yang Ming. Xia Shui asked the driver to park the car near Lin Jiyun's house. Then she got off the car and went to Lin Jiyun's house. Because she had been here once and Xia Shui as a police officer had an extraordinary memory. Xia Shui knocked on the door but no one came to open the door for a long time. Just when Xia Shui thought that no one was inside, she heard Lin Jiyun's voice. "Who is it?" "Thinking. I am Xia Shui." Xia Shui said. "Oh, it's Sister Xia Shui." The door was opened. Lin Jiyun poked her head out and said, "Why are you here?" "I just finished a mission. I came to see you on the way." Xia Shui said. "Come in." Lin Jiyun quickly let Xia Shui in. Then she closed the door and sat on the sofa with a limp. "I'm sorry, Sister Xia Shui. My leg hasn't recovered yet. You can sit anywhere you want." "Okay, I'm being presumptuous." Xia Shui said. "What happened that day?" "Nothing much. I was just entangled by a group of punks." Lin Jiyun shook her head. Things had passed. She didn't want to mention it. "Hee, do you want me to catch them?" Xia Shui smiled. "Forget it." Yang Ming also taught them a lesson that day. Lin Jiyun didn't want to pursue anything. After all, there were still her classmates among them. "Right, how did you and Yang Ming meet? Don't tell me that he is really your boyfriend. At that time I thought you definitely didn't know him. Otherwise you wouldn't keep saying that you want to bring him to justice." Xia Shui was a woman with strong curiosity, so she couldn't help but ask. "This?" Lin Jiyun's face turned red because of Xia Shui's words. "He saved me before, so I don't intend to pursue anything." Lin Jiyun simply explained, but she didn't say the details. After all, selling her body wasn't a glorious thing. "Just saving you?" Xia Shui frowned and asked unrelentingly. "Even if he saved you, he can't force you to do that with him." Actually. Lin Jiyun was a little overwhelmed by Xia Shui's question, but she also knew that if she continued to be entangled like this, it would definitely arouse Xia Shui's suspicion. Although Lin Jiyun felt that Xia Shui was a good person, she was a policewoman. Lin Jiyun was afraid that if she said too much, Xia Shui would find trouble with Yang Ming, so she simply said, "Actually, I liked Yang Ming before." "Oh? Turns out that you have a secret crush on him. No wonder." Xia Shui nodded. This time there was no doubt. "Then you are now boyfriend and girlfriend?" "Kind of." Lin Jiyun nodded with a red face. "It was just a disguise." Lin Jiyun didn't say this. Xia Shui nodded and smiled understandingly. She thought that Lin Jiyun was embarrassed. Then he doesn't know about the incident at that time. He wasn't awake at that time. Now it seems that he has no impression of me. Lin Jiyun nodded. "Then you're not going to tell him? Let him feel guilty and he will treat you better, right?" Xia Shui said. "I don't want him to blame himself because of this incident. If it is really because of this incident, he will definitely not be happy with me out of guilt." Lin Jiyun shook her head. "You are just too kind. Why are you thinking about him? Let him feel guilty." Xia Shui sighed with disappointment. "If I were you, I would have told him already." "It's okay. I think it's good now." Lin Jiyun shook her head. "Sister Xia Shui, can you help me keep it a secret?" Okay, I won't tell him." Xia Shui promised. "But Lin Jiyun, you have to think about it clearly. You were still a virgin before that, right? You aren't now. If Yang Ming finds out that you aren't when you do it with him in the future, will he have any thoughts? Are you willing to be misunderstood by him?" "Let's talk about it when the time comes." Lin Jiyun blushed and said hesitantly. "Yang Ming and I are just pretending to be boyfriend and girlfriend. How can we do it?" This Xia Shui, she can really say anything. Although the man who doesn't care about this is the man who really loves you. If you really like Yang Ming, it's best not to use this to try. If he is a narrow-minded man, the one who will suffer in the end is still yourself." Xia Shui said. "I know. Sister Xia Shui, now I haven't reached that step with him yet. Let's talk about it later, Lin Jiyun said perfunctorily. What a strange couple. Xia Shui shook her head and knew that Lin Jiyun wouldn't listen to her, so she didn't say anything more. Seeing that Lin Jiyun's leg hadn't recovered, she got up and said, Lin Jiyun, then I will go back first. You have a good rest. If there is anything, call me directly. This is my phone number. As Xia Shui said this, she took out her business card and handed it to Lin Jiyun. Hey Sister Xia Shui, thank you for coming to see me. Lin Jiyun took the business card and said, I won't send you off. It's inconvenient for me to stand up. It's okay. I can go by myself. Xia Shui went out and then locked the door for Lin Jiyun before she left. Lin Jiyun was in the room, but she sighed faintly. Could it be that I really look forward to further development with Yang Ming? No, didn't I already decide not to have anything to do with him? But why didn't I feel a sense of rejection when Xia Shui talked about me and Yang Ming? Instead, I felt a little joy. Chapter 352. In the afternoon, Yang Ming came out from Shao Qing's house and looked at the time. It was already 3 o'clock in the afternoon. At this time it was impossible to go to class. Since he had nothing to do, Yang Ming was ready to go to Lin Jiyun's house to see her. Yang Ming decided to make a trip to Fong Tian's house. He remembered that Fong Tian had a special medicine for fall injuries. It should be good for Lin Jiyun's injury. Yang Ming wanted to get it yesterday, but because the key to Fong Tian's house was left in the dormitory, he could only go again today. After returning to the dormitory to get the key that Fong Tian left here, Yang Ming drove to Fong Tian's house. As he took out the key to open the door, suddenly a hand patted on Yang Ming's shoulder. Yang Ming was shocked. During this time, his intuition and reaction ability had improved significantly. However, Yang Ming didn't feel the presence of the person who patted him from behind. Who is it? Yang Ming turned around abruptly and looked behind him in astonishment. The hand suddenly disappeared. There was no one behind Yang Ming. Not to mention a person, there wasn't even a feather. Looking at the empty alley, Yang Ming was creeped out. Motherfucker, it's broad daylight. Can it be so unlucky? Could it be my illusion? To put it bluntly, the feeling that Yang Ming felt now was that the person who came wasn't a person at all, but a ghost. Yang Ming frowned and looked at the surrounding environment. Seems to be quite normal, right? It's impossible to hide someone who I can't find out, right? Yang Ming forcibly dispelled his inexplicable thoughts. Then he opened the door of Fong Tian's house, walked in and closed the door. Then he quickly entered the innermost room, pulled out a big box from under the bed and searched for the fall medicine. Although Fong Tian had a lot of things, they were arranged neatly. Yang Ming didn't spend much effort to find the fall medicine. It was a big bottle. Yang Ming didn't have a small bottle to divide it into, so he could only hold it in his hand. I'll give it back after I finish using it. Yang Ming took the medicine bottle and walked out of the door. As he just left the courtyard and was about to lock the door, he suddenly heard something in the house. Yang Ming frowned. He wanted to see what it was, but at this time his cell phone rang. Yang Ming didn't pay attention to the things in the house. He locked the door and hurriedly picked up the phone. Hello. Yang Ming's cell phone. Brother Yang? I am Bai Hai's voice's phone's call. Bai Hai. What's the matter? When Yang Ming heard that it was him, he couldn't help but frown. His voice was a little cold. You want to fool me with a counterfeit phone? That, Brother Yang, where are you now? Bai Hai couldn't see Yang Ming's expression, so he didn't know that Yang Ming was very angry now. I'm in front of Lin Jiyun's house. Yang Ming said coldly. Yesterday she broke her leg. I came to see her. Bai Hai suddenly remembered this. This time he also heard the displeasure in Yang Ming's tone. He thought that Yang Ming was angry because of yesterday's incident, so he felt that it was time for him to perform, so he quickly said, Brother Yang, Gu Xinyao and I also feel that we were wrong yesterday. We want to see sister-in-law. Let's do this. Gu Xinyao and I will go over now. Come over. Yang Ming hesitated, but he felt that Gu Xinyao and Lin Jiyun should apologize, so he said, Well, do you know Shanty Town? He heard Gu Xinyao's voice on the other side. I know. I have Sister Lin's address here. Then it was Bai Hai's voice. Gu Xinyao knows. Let's go over now. Yang Ming said faintly and hung up the phone. He walked to Lin Jiyun's house. On the other side, Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao were busy. They first bought a big fruit basket, then some nutritional products. They rushed to Lin Jiyun's house with the newly bought mobile phones. Lin Jiyun still doesn't have a mobile phone, right? In the taxi Bai Hai asked. And no why, said Gu Xinyao. I'm still smart. Look, I bought 2 mobile phones. Then I can give one to her and one to Brother Yang. Bai Hai said proudly. Yeah. Why didn't I think of it? Gu Xinyao nodded. I hope that Brother Yang won't be angry with us. Actually, I think Brother Yang doesn't mean to blame us. Otherwise he wouldn't have recommended me to Brother Bao. Bai Hai shook his head and said, now Brother Yang may be a little dissatisfied because of Lin Jiyun's injury yesterday. So you must have a better attitude later. Don't treat Lin Jiyun like before. Brother Hai, you can rest assured. I know what to do. Without Bai Hai's instruction, Gu Xinyao knew what she should do. Originally she was the kind of person who bullied the weak and feared the strong. Now that Lin Jiyun had Yang Ming as a backer, her status naturally rose. Even if she was on a rocket she couldn't catch up. No matter how badass Bai Hai was, he couldn't surpass Brother Bao. Therefore Gu Xinyao was now willing to call Lin Jiyun as Sister Lin. And then I won't say much. Brother Yang may have a good temper, but I can see that he doesn't care about other things. If it involves his woman, Brother Yang won't be so easy to talk to. So you must pay attention in the future. Bai Hai said that Wu Xingkai ended up like this. Who asked him to have designs on Brother Yang's woman. Gu Xinyao had come to Lin Jiyun's house once. It was from that time that Gu Xinyao began to look down on Lin Jiyun. How could a little poor girl compare to a rich girl like her? Because Lin Jiyun was prettier than her, Gu Xinyao began to target Lin Jiyun everywhere. She didn't expect that the tables would turn. The slums that made her frown now actually had to rush here. And it was with the consent of the other party. Yang Ming came to Lin Jiyun's door and knocked on the door. After sending Xia Shui away, Lin Jiyun was ready to go back to her room to read for a while. She didn't expect there to be another knock on the door. Could it be that Xia Shui forgot something? Lin Jiyun quickly came to the door and asked, is it Sister Xia Shui? Xia Shui. Yang Ming said, I'm Yang Ming. Lin Jiyun quickly opened the door after listening and said, Yang Ming, why are you here? Because she had just discussed Yang Ming's matter with Xia Shui, Lin Jiyun's face was still a little red when she saw Yang Ming. Came to see you. I'll give you some medicine. Yang Ming raised his hand and showed the medicine to Lin Jiyun. Then he asked, what did you just say about Xia Shui? Is she coming too? Sister Xia Shui just came and now she has left. Lin Jiyun said, I just thought it was her. Turned out to be like this. Why did Xia Shui come here? Yang Ming frowned because his relationship with Lin Jiyun was very complicated and delicate. Xia Shui was an insider. Yang Ming was afraid that she would say something unfavorable to him. This violent girl didn't have a filter on her mouth. She didn't necessarily deliberately say bad things about him, but he was afraid that it was unintentional. Nothing. She just came to see my injury. Lin Jiyun said, wasn't she the one who sent me here yesterday? Yang Ming glanced at Lin Jiyun and didn't say anything. Undoubtedly Lin Jiyun was lying. It had been like this since yesterday. Not only did she hide the fact that she knew Xia Shui before, but she was also obviously lying today. Because Xia Shui sent her to the alley entrance yesterday, she didn't come in at all. It was impossible for her to know the specific address of Lin Jiyun's home. However, Yang Ming didn't intend to pursue this problem. Since Lin Jiyun wanted to hide it, then let her hide it. Oh, don't worry about her. Come, you sit on the sofa. I will apply the medicine for your leg, said Yang Ming. Yesterday I have already applied it myself. Lin Jiyun pointed to her leg and said, do you still want to apply it again? And this medicine is very useful. The effect should be better than yesterday's. Yang Ming said. If that's the case, then okay. Lin Jiyun nodded. In fact, she also had a lot of hope, but she didn't want Yang Ming to waste his effort. Although Lin Jiyun and Yang Ming had already had a physical relationship before, it was also in a state of unconsciousness. Now, when Yang Ming's hand touched her calf, Lin Jiyun couldn't help but tremble a little. Moreover, a sense of dryness walked through her body in an instant. Lin Jiyun groaned slightly. She didn't know if it was because of the pain or because of the strange feeling of her calf being touched by the opposite sex. What's wrong? Does it hurt? Then I will try to be gentle. Yang Ming was going to use the technique that Fong Tian taught him to massage Lin Jiyun, but when he heard her groan, he had to give up and carefully applied the medicine. Chapter 353. Yang Ming didn't dare to use more force. He had to gently rub Lin Jiyun's wound back and forth, but his strength was light as if he was caressing. Yang Ming didn't think so much, but the person involved, Lin Jiyun, was different. She was uncomfortable because of Yang Ming. There was a feeling of being crawled by ants, but she didn't dare to say it out loud. She had to endure it silently with a red face. But fortunately, Yang Ming didn't intend to take advantage of Lin Jiyun. After helping her apply the medicine, he stood up. At this time there was a knock on the door. Lin Jiyun was shocked and quickly lowered her head to pull down her pants. It didn't matter if Yang Ming was here, but it wasn't good to be seen by outsiders, so she didn't care that the medicine on it had not completely dried up. But at this moment Yang Ming wanted to get up and Lin Jiyun was about to lower her head. The two people went up and down and their foreheads unconsciously touched each other. It wasn't very forceful, but it was very awkward. It was like a scene in a movie. Besides the awkwardness, it made Lin Jiyun's heart beat faster. "Who is it?" Yang Ming guessed that it was probably Bai Hai who came over. "Brother Yang, I am Bai Hai." Sure enough, Bai Hai's voice came from outside the door. "Wait a minute." As Yang Ming said, he went straight to Lin Jiyun's side and put his coat on her. Then he whispered, "Gu Xinyao and her boyfriend came to see you. You're wearing pajamas. It's not very good. It would be troublesome if you were exposed." Lin Jiyun's face was red. Yes, she didn't wear anything inside. So, after listening to Yang Ming's words, she quickly wrapped the coat around her body. Yang Ming saw that there was no problem, so he walked over and opened the door. "Brother Yang, where do I put this?" Bai Hai came in with a huge fruit basket. The fruit in it was estimated to be almost as big as a small fruit stall. "Put it on the ground." Yang Ming pointed to an empty place and said, "Okay." Bai Hai originally had a hard time walking with a fruit basket. He walked sideways like a crab. Generally, when others gave gifts, there would be someone to receive them, but Yang Ming didn't have time to care about him. Bai Hai didn't dare to trouble Yang Ming. He began to do a difficult squat. "I haven't exercised for a long time. My kung fu isn't good. If Brother Yang were to exercise personally, he would definitely be much better than me." Lin Jiyun was a little surprised. She just harmed me yesterday. Why did she bring a gift to see me today? She didn't go to school today, so naturally she didn't know what happened at school. "Big sister. I'm wrong." Gu Xinyao listened to Lin Jiyun's question and quickly bowed respectfully. Gu Xinyao. What are you doing? What did you just call me?" Lin Jiyun was stunned. She looked at Gu Xinyao inexplicably. Gu Xinyao just wanted to speak, but she saw Yang Ming's sharp eyes staring at her. Gu Xinyao was shocked and immediately understood. Yang Ming didn't want her to reveal too much. When she thought of Lin Jiyun's usual kindness and innocence, Gu Xinyao understood Yang Ming's intention. Yang Ming didn't want her to be polluted by these things in society. Gu Xinyao thought, it turns out that Brother Yang likes this kind of pure girl. It seems that I really have no hope. "Sister Lin, aren't you older than me? I'll call you big sister." Gu Xinyao explained. We are both classmates. You can just call me Jiyun." Lin Jiyun was a little surprised. What happened to Gu Xinyao today? "It's okay. This is what I should do." Gu Xinyao said quickly, "Sister Lin, it was my fault in the past. You see that I'm still young and not sensible. Don't take it to heart, okay?" "Gu Xinyao, we are both classmates. It's good that you know your mistakes and can change. It's okay. I don't blame you." Lin Jiyun had decided to ignore Gu Xinyao, but she saw that she was very sincere, so she forgave her. "Thank you, Sister Lin. We were all bewitched by Wu Xingkai. He has already received the corresponding punishment." Bai Hai also said quickly. Lin Jiyun nodded. As for what happened to Wu Xingkai, she wasn't very concerned. "Right, Sister Lin, I bought." Bai Hai just wanted to say that he bought a cell phone, but he was pulled by Gu Xinyao, so he quickly shut up. "Sister Lin, Bai Hai and I just went to the mall to buy clothes. When we participated in the lottery, we won 2 cell phones. Both of us have cell phones, but it's useless. I'll give it to you and Brother Yang." Gu Xinyao took out the cell phone and put it on the coffee table. She knew Lin Jiyun's character very well. If she said that she bought it deliberately, Lin Jiyun would definitely not accept it. So, it was better to say that she won it from the lottery so that there was no reason to refuse. This isn't very good, right?" Lin Jiyun quickly declined. "I don't need this thing, right?" "We don't need it. Sister Lin, you also know that the cell phone is second-hand. I can't sell it for much money. It's better to give it to a friend." Gu Gu Xinyao explained, if you don't want it I can only throw it away. You also know that I don't lack this money. If you want me to sell it in the second-hand market I don't have the time. If that's the case I will accept it. Right, this cell phone should be very expensive, right? Lin Jiyun looked at the high-end packaging of the cell phone and hesitated. Who knows? Anyway, it's free. Bai Hai also said quickly, it's just a prize. Yang Ming saw the double act of the two in his eyes. He thought only a girl like Lin Jiyun who has no social experience will believe what they say. Lottery. It's possible to draw one, but how can it be possible to draw two of the same cell phones? Can they take all the good things in the world? It's obviously nonsense. However, Lin Jiyun really believed this kind of funny thing. She naively praised, you are really lucky. I have never won a prize but I rarely buy clothes. If it were before, Gu Xinyao would definitely laugh at Lin Jiyun's words. She was a poor girl. Of course she didn't have money to buy clothes but now it was different. Laugh? Unless her brain was pierced. If she pissed off Yang Ming she would end up like Wu Xinkai. Probably, even if Wu Xinkai was discharged from the hospital, Brother Bao wouldn't put him in an important position. Sister Lin, you are born beautiful. You are beautiful in any clothes. Unlike me, if I don't wear some outstanding clothes I will be ignored. Gu Xinyao said, Sister Lin, if you dress up, you will attract a group of flies, so you are right to be low-key, hee. Although Lin Jiyun wasn't a girl who loved vanity, she was still a little happy when she heard Gu Xinyao's affirmation. Yang Ming said in his heart, this couple is really the best. They have a set of tricks and they also have a set of flattery. They are really fucking the best villains. However, this kind of bad guy really has a place to stand. Was He Shin in history a bad guy? Not only was he a bad guy but he was also a bad guy. However, the imperial court still needs him. Therefore Yang Ming was also observing. If Bai Hai could really take on a heavy responsibility he might as well give him some things to do. There were always a lot of topics between women. Even though the relationship between Gu Xinyao and Lin Jiyun wasn't good before, under Gu Xinyao's deliberate flattery, the two people quickly got along well with each other and chatted about something. However, Bai Hai had nothing to do so he chatted with Yang Ming. Brother Yang, you used to mingle around? Bai Hai asked carefully. I used to mingle around. Yang Ming nodded. It was a long time ago. Now I am out of that circle. Then you entered the detention center because... Bai Hai was a little curious. Motherfucker, is there anyone who asks like that? Yang Ming was annoyed. Don't hit people in the face, don't expose people's shortcomings. Don't you know? Yang Ming couldn't tell him that the reason he entered the detention center was because of XX Lin Jiyun, right? That would make him seem too filthy. Especially when Lin Jiyun was still in front of him. If he said it out loud, wouldn't everyone be embarrassed? Besides, even if Lin Jiyun wasn't present, this kind of private thing couldn't be told to Bai Hai. Therefore Yang Ming thought about it. It was better to confuse right and wrong. It could also play a role in deterring Bai Hai, so he said faintly, murder. Yang Ming did kill people but he killed them when he was acting bravely. It wasn't a secret. Originally this was done by him so he wasn't afraid of Bai Hai inquiring about it. Oh, it turned out to be murder. What? Murder? Bai Hai was shocked and looked at Yang Ming in horror. Brother Yang. You aren't joking, right? Chapter 354. Do you think it's interesting to joke about this kind of thing? Yang Ming glanced at Bai Hai and shook his head mysteriously. Brother Yang. You know this killing isn't a joke. Bai Hai felt that his head began to sweat. Brother Yang is too scary, right? He actually killed people before? Hee, it's a matter of the past. I just killed a small fry. Yang Ming said faintly, what's his name? Right, Ji Shuixing seems to be it. What? Ji Shuixing? Brother Yang. Old Chicken was killed by you? Bai Hai was surprised. The news that Ji Shuixing was killed wasn't a secret in the underworld. It was just that Yang Ming didn't announce it at the time so they didn't know who killed him. And this guy was flirting with my friend so I taught him a lesson. As a result I was too heavy-handed so he died. Yang Ming said without any emotion. Friend? Ji Shuixing is a man so the one who was flirting with must be a woman. Bai Hai couldn't help but shudder. He was lucky. It seems that if the police didn't arrive in time yesterday, something might have happened. Today he saw Brother Yang's skill with his own eyes. What kind of person was Ji Shuixing? He was the underworld's gold medal fighter. He was actually killed by Yang Ming. Yang Ming's strength could be imagined. It's good that he died. Bai Hai praised against his will. He quickly lowered his body to show that his identity was lower than Yang Ming's. After he laughed twice, he didn't dare to continue this topic. Damn, I was really an idiot before. I didn't even know that I was at the gates of hell. Yesterday I thought that Yang Ming was a stupid rich guy. I didn't expect him to be such a ruthless person. Bai Hai felt that he was ruthless enough, but he was just a little punk in the underworld. Compared to Yang Ming who killed people, he was nothing. Yes, it was my first time killing someone. I didn't know how to control my strength, so I died on the spot. Yang Ming nodded and said indifferently, "Tell me, if he died 2 days later, would it have nothing to do with me?" Mother. Oh my God. First time killing someone? How many more times have you killed? Bai Hai was so scared that his calves began to cramp. However, since Yang Ming was talking to him, he couldn't ignore him. So he could only force himself to be calm and said, "Brother Yang, you were acting bravely for a just cause. It's fine even if you beat him to death." And that's true. Yang Ming nodded. But I still like to keep a low profile. Low-key? How could this be considered low-key? Then what would it be like if you were to be high profile? Bai Hai was depressed for a while. He could only say embarrassedly, "That's right. Brother Yang, you're a big shot. It's normal to keep a low profile." Yang Ming nodded and patted Bai Hai's shoulder. "Young man, not bad. I think highly of you." Bai Hai nodded as if he understood. Although he felt that it was glorious to be thought highly of by Brother Yang, after all, Brother Yang wasn't his direct boss. Anyway, Brother Yang could talk to Brother Bao. So Bai Hai quickly said gratefully, "Thank you, Brother Yang. You found me in the sea of people and recommended me. I, Bai Hai, am really lucky to be recognized by Brother Yang. Brother Yang, you're my talent scout." Damn, you're so proud of yourself. Yang Ming glared at Bai Hai and scolded, "Do you really think that you're a fine horse?" I'm not a fine horse, but Brother Yang, you're a super talent scout. If you say that I can do it, then I can do it. Even if I can't, I can." Bai Hai said with a servile look. "You are really self-aware," Yang Ming said as he curled his lips. Gu Xinyao chatted with Lin Jun for a while. Seeing that it was almost time, she got up and said goodbye to Bai Hai. Yang Ming didn't ask them to stay. He still wanted to be alone with Lin Jun. These two people, it's fine as long as they express their feelings. "Why are you still here?" After Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao left, Lin Jun asked Yang Ming curiously, "Yang Ming, why did the two of them come to my house?" Although Lin Jun was simple, she wasn't stupid. Yesterday, Gu Xinyao's attitude toward her was very bad. Today there was a 180-degree change. How was this possible? I don't know. Maybe they found their conscience? Yang Ming said perfunctorily. "Nonsense. Did you say something to them?" Lin Jun had some doubts about Yang Ming. Because today's things were too weird. "Yes, I have some friendship with Bai Hai's boss, so they came today." Yang Ming hesitated and decided to tell the truth. "Jun, you have to be careful in the future. Don't trust other people's words in the future. Only you are the kindest. Others are bullying you. Now you are clear. If I didn't know Bai Hai's boss, would they come to see you today? It's good enough that they don't find ways to continue to trouble you." "I know." Lin Jun lowered her head after being scolded by Yang Ming. Yes, in fact, Yang Ming is right. I think too highly of others. Fortunately, Yang Ming can appear in time every time, but what if Yang Ming can't come in time? I can't rely on him for a lifetime, right? Well, I know you are a kind girl. Forget it. I will put in more effort in the future. Yang Ming sighed and said, "I'm sorry, Yang Ming. I have to trouble you every time." Lin Jun said with some embarrassment after hearing it. "Forget it. It's nothing." Yang Ming shook his head and said in his heart, "Just think of it as I owe you." Right, Yang Ming, this cell phone should be very expensive, right? Lin Jun picked up the cell phone on the table and looked at the packaging outside. "I have seen this cell phone in a magazine advertisement. It seems to be the latest model of Nokia, right?" Maybe. Yang Ming wasn't afraid to tell the truth now because Bai Hai had left. He wasn't afraid that Lin Jun wouldn't accept it. Moreover, even if he didn't say it, Lin Jun would inquire about it herself. So there was no need to hide this at all. It's about 7,000 yuan, and this is a limited edition. It's more precious. Lin Jun was shocked. More than 7,000? Why is it so expensive? No, I have to return it to Gu Xinyao. Even if you return it to her, she still has to accept it. Yang Ming smiled and said, Jun, the reason why she gave you the cell phone wasn't because she was kind and kind. Moreover, she apologized to you today not because she had a conscience. Why? Isn't it because you are my wife, Yang Ming? Lin Jiyun listened to Yang Ming's words and opened her mouth wide. The wife. I'm sorry. I have been pretending to be your boyfriend for a few days. I unconsciously put myself in the role. Yang Ming also realized his slip of the tongue and said awkwardly. It's okay. I know. Lin Jiyun nodded. He didn't know if she said that she knew Yang Ming's slip of the tongue, or that she knew the real reason why Gu Xinyao apologized to her. So you don't have to be embarrassed. She gave you the fruit basket and cell phone because she was afraid that I would hold them accountable. Yang Ming said, if you still can't accept it, then consider it as a gift from me. She gave it to me first, then I will give it to you. Okay, then I will accept it. Lin Jiyun nodded. If it was a gift from Yang Ming, then it was still acceptable. Right, do you have a SIM card? I will give you one tomorrow. It will be more convenient to contact so that you don't have to look for a public phone when you ask for help next time. Yang Ming smiled. What are you talking about? How can I be so unlucky? Lin Jiyun said with some embarrassment. I hope so. Yang Ming also thought, Sister Lin, can you not be so unlucky? All the unlucky things have happened to you. If you didn't have me, what would you do? Yang Ming thought with some arrogance. Right, Yang Ming, didn't you promise me to be a tutor? It's tonight. Are you ready? Lin Jiyun suddenly thought of a very important thing and quickly said to Yang Ming. Tutor? Yang Ming patted the back of his head and said apologetically, I really forgot. Is there still time? I will go there immediately. And there is still more than half an hour. There is definitely enough time. The key is that you aren't prepared? Lin Jiyun said. It's okay. Isn't it just a junior high school problem? No problem. Yang Ming nodded confidently. Well, don't embarrass me. Lin Jiyun smiled. The child is a little introverted. Don't scare him. I know. You can rest assured. I still have confidence in dealing with a little kid. Yang Ming said, wait for my triumphant return. Lin Jiyun smiled and didn't say anything. Instead, she took out a notebook and handed it to Yang Ming. This is what I sorted out last night. Some of the weaknesses of this student. You can take a look at it on the way so that you can target it. Chapter 355. Yang Ming nodded and took the notes. Seemed that Lin Jiyun was really attentive. He wanted to stay for a while, but because of the tutoring matter he had to give up. Driving according to the address given by Lin Jiyun, Yang Ming came to the door of the second-year student's home. Yang Ming sighed. Chen Mingin, I'm sorry. I wanted to look for you at night. I hope you don't blame me. Yang Ming knocked on the door. After a while, the voice of a housewife came from inside. Who is it? I am Wu Zhongjie's tutor. Yang Ming looked at the piece of paper in his hand and said. The student's name was written on it. Little Lin introduced you. The housewife opened the door and nodded to Yang Ming. You are, hello auntie. My name is Yang Ming. I'm also a student at Songjiang Industry University. I'm in the computer science department. Yang Ming introduced himself. I'm Lin Jiyun's classmate. Her leg is injured so she can't come to class. I'm substituting for her for a few classes. Little Yang, come in. The housewife said, sorry to trouble you. Don't worry. I won't pay you less for the tutoring fee. Auntie, the tutoring fee is secondary. I'm here to help Lin Jiyun. Right, where is Wu Zhongjie? Yang Ming nodded and asked with a smile. Wu Zhongjie, come out. The housewife shouted a few times and a lazy voice came from upstairs. Mom, if it isn't Sister Jiyun, you should let him go. A boy said with a male voice. Apparently he was in the puberty stage. I'm sorry, little Yang. My son is more willful. Look, I'll bring you up. The housewife said embarrassedly. It's okay, auntie. Let's go up. Yang Ming nodded and said. He didn't care. He was just a little kid. He was just at an age where he liked to be rebellious. Yang Ming was also at this age. He had a deep understanding of that era. Didn't he also rebel back then? Because of Suya, he skipped class and mingled in the underworld. While going up the stairs, Yang Ming began to look around the house. Judging from the layout of this house, this kind of duplex suite was not cheap. The upper and lower floors added up to more than 200 square meters. Moreover, the decoration of the house was very exquisite. From the furnishings, it could be seen that this was a rich family. However, what Yang Ming cared about was not this, but the problem of Wu Zhongjie. A rich kid like this was really hard to get along with. I don't know how Lin Jiyun endured it. This kind of young master's temper doesn't seem to be easy to serve. The housewife stopped in front of a room, knocked on the door and said, Wu Zhongjie, open the door for mom. Your tutor is here. Didn't I tell you? Except for Sister Jiyun, you can just let the rest of them go back. Wu Zhongjie's hoarse voice continued to come out from the room. Zhongjie, what are you doing? You are going to have your final exam soon. Don't you have questions to ask? The housewife said reproachfully. Mom, don't worry about me. Let him go. Give him the tutoring fee. Let him go. Wu Zhongjie said impatiently. This child. The housewife shook her head helplessly. She looked at Yang Ming and said, I'm sorry, little Yang. Why don't we just forget about it? I will give you the tutoring fee. I can't let you come here for nothing. That's not necessary. Do you want me to try again? Yang Ming smiled at the housewife. Well, then you talk to Wu Zhongjie. Both of you are about the same age. It should be easy to communicate. The housewife nodded and said, I will go down first. It's not good for me to stay here. If it really doesn't work, then forget about it. This child is more stubborn. Okay, I got it. Don't worry, Auntie. Just leave it to me. Yang Ming said. About the same age? Sweat, I'm a few years older than him. However, in the eyes of this housewife, her son and I are about the same age. Seeing that the housewife went downstairs, Yang Ming didn't hold back and knocked on the door twice. Motherfucker, little brat, do you think I can't control you? I already told you to get out. Didn't you hear me? Obviously, Wu Zhongjie had been paying attention to the movement outside the door. He also heard the words that Yang Ming said to his mother. Open the door. Hurry up. Don't waste time. Yang Ming said with a frown. Who do you think you are? If you have the ability, then stand outside. I won't accompany you. Wu Zhongjie said with a hum. Stand outside. You want to do it yourself? Yang Ming snorted. I can't go in if the door is locked? You are looking down on me too much. Yang Ming took out a paperclip from his pocket. This was what Fong Tian told him to bring with him at all times. In many cases, this little thing would be of great use. For example, breaking the door or even killing people. Yang Ming straightened the paperclip and then inserted it into the keyhole. He moved it back and forth a few times. He pulled the door handle and the door was opened. However, the people in the room didn't seem to notice that Yang Ming had opened the door because he was listening to music and reading comics with headphones. Wu Zhongjie was annoyed that Yang Ming was talking to him again, so he simply ignored him. He put on his headphones and started reading comics. His original intention was to pretend that he didn't hear Yang Ming knocking on the door, but he didn't expect Yang Ming to come in directly. Yang Ming turned around and locked the door. Then he went straight to Wu Zhongjie's side and pulled off the earplugs on his head. What are you doing? Wu Zhongjie was stunned. He looked up and saw a stranger sneering at him. He was shocked. Who are you? How did you come in? I'm your home tutor. Hurry up and learn. Yang Ming said with a cold hum. Who are you? Who do I think you are? It's useless for you to come in. Don't bother me. Hurry up and get out. Wu Zhongjie didn't want to bother with Yang Ming. Damn, do you think I want to bother with you? If I didn't promise Lin Jiyun, do you think I would come? Seeing that Yang Ming didn't leave and was still staring at him, Wu Zhongjie suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. He frowned and then said to Yang Ming, Where is Sister Jiyun? Why didn't she come? She hurt her leg. I will be your substitute during this time. Yang Ming casually found a chair and sat down. What is your relationship with Sister Jiyun? Asked Wu Zhongjie. Why do you care about my relationship? Yang Ming was a little dumbfounded. This little kid is quite troublesome. You are not suitable for Sister Jiyun. You should give up on that idea. Wu Zhongjie looked at Yang Ming and said coldly, What do you mean that I am not suitable? What are you talking about? Yang Ming was stunned. You know what I am talking about. Wu Zhongjie snorted and said, Didn't you want to please Sister Jiyun, so you came to be her tutor? Don't think that I don't know what you are thinking. Curry favor? Why should I curry favor with her? If Jiyun didn't say that you are about to have an exam, do you think I will come? Yang Ming said disdainfully. Keep pretending. Keep pretending. You are really acting. Wu Zhongjie smiled and said, I will take care of the exam results myself. You don't have to worry about me. You can go. Since I am here, I have to be responsible for you. Yang Ming thought, if I go back like this, Lin Jiyun will scold me. The The fox's tail is out, right? Be responsible for me? Why is it so funny? This is the first time I heard of it. Wu Zhongjie smiled and said, I didn't pay you less for tutoring. You still don't want to leave. If you don't want to please Sister Jiyun, then what are you doing? Let me tell you, kid, I am going to introduce Sister Jiyun to my cousin. If you are like this, you should leave early. Cousin, Wu Zhongjie. Wu Xingkai? His cousin wouldn't be Wu Xingkai, right? Yang Ming asked with some surprise. Your cousin is Wu Xingkai? Who is Wu Xingkai? Wu Zhongjie asked. Seems that I thought wrongly. Yang Ming shook his head and said, nothing. Then who is your cousin? My cousin. Why do you care who my cousin is? Wu Zhongjie just casually made up a relative. In fact, there was no such person. What cousin? He didn't even have a cousin. It was just that at Wu Zhongjie's age, when he met a girl like Lin Jiyun who had a strong affinity, he subconsciously regarded her as his own sister. Therefore, when he saw Yang Ming, he was unhappy. I don't have time to care who he is. Hey, are you done wasting time? If you are done, I will start tutoring. If there is anything you don't know, just ask. Yang Ming said with some impatience. I am a 5th-degree black belt in Taekwondo. If you are not afraid of death, then continue to stay here. Wu Zhongjie threatened. Yang Ming sneered. I know a big brother in the underworld. If you bother me again, I will ask him to kill you. Wu Zhongjie saw that the threat was not effective, so he continued. Yang Ming still sneered. Chapter 356. What do you want? Wu Zhongjie was a little impatient. Nothing much, kid. Don't use your ignorance to challenge my patience. Yang Ming grabbed Wu Zhongjie's collar and lifted him up. Motherfucker, let me tell you. If it weren't for Jiyun's request that I can't refuse, do you think I'm willing to waste time with a little brat like you? Let me go. Wu Zhongjie was shocked. Although he wasn't heavy, he was still 100 kilograms. The person in front of him could actually lift him up with one hand. How much strength did that require? Yang Ming didn't bother with him. He directly took him to the chair in front of the desk and put him down. Wu Zhongjie's butt hurt from the fall, but when he saw Yang Ming's evil face, he didn't dare to make a sound. He had to sit in front of the desk obediently. However, he didn't intend to study, so he just sat there. Yang Ming didn't bother with him. He sat on the chair next to him and crossed his legs. He looked at Wu Zhongjie's room. It was a typical room of a single man. Wu Zhongjie probably rarely let his mother come in. There was a thick stack of dirty clothes piled up in the corner. A basketball was thrown casually by the bed. Game consoles and comic books were placed everywhere. In the corner of the bookshelf there were also a few pornographic discs. Yang Ming couldn't help but laugh. This child's room was simply a portrayal of himself in the past. What are you laughing at? Wu Zhongjie saw Yang Ming suddenly laugh and was a little unhappy. The discs on your bookshelf are good. They are the original ones. Yang Ming saw the original adult porn discs for the first time in China. Of course. I am. Wu Zhongjie just said half a sentence proudly, then he suddenly realized that Yang Ming wasn't his classmate but a tutor. He suddenly stopped. Why do you care? It seems that you aren't a good person. Yeah, I didn't say that I was a good student. Yang Ming smiled. I don't need to watch that kind of thing now. Kid, you are still a virgin, right? None of your business. Wu Zhongjie immediately blushed and said, my mom hired you to be my tutor, not to listen to you talk nonsense with me. Hey, then let's start. It's time for tutoring. Yang Ming said in his heart. Little brat, do you think you can beat me with your petty mind? Wu Zhongjie also realized that he had fallen into a trap, but he was the most stubborn at his age. Since he had said it, he would not go back on it, so he simply said, let's start. Wu Zhongjie thought to himself, aren't you going to tutor me? Alright then, see how I'll make things difficult for you. Thinking about it, Wu Zhongjie directly picked up an Olympiad tutorial book on the table and flipped through it. He randomly found a 5-star problem and pointed it to Yang Ming. I don't know how to solve this problem. You explain it to me. From the moment Wu Zhongjie raised his hand to pick up the book, Yang Ming sensed his intentions. However, he did not expose him. Mathematical Olympiad? I even won an award in the past. Yang Ming smiled and took the exercise book. He glanced at it and found his original feeling. This question was actually not difficult, but it was a little roundabout. So he picked up a piece of white paper and began to explain it to Wu Zhongjie. Yang Ming's mathematics results in the college entrance examination could be said to be the most authentic. He was taught by Zhao Ying, so his explanation was also clear. Initially, Wu Zhongjie was still somewhat disdainful, but gradually he felt that this tutor was really good. Mathematics was Wu Zhongjie's strength. He naturally knew the difficulty of this question. Seeing that Yang Ming solved it so easily, although he was dissatisfied in his heart, there was no other way. He also gave up the idea of using the exercise book to make things difficult for him. He honestly took out some of his own questions and asked. Yang Ming secretly thought that he was lucky. Fortunately, this kid just took a math question. If it were other subjects, wouldn't I be finished? Now these questions were ordinary questions in the textbook. They were not related to the competition, so Yang Ming could easily answer them. Unknowingly, 2 hours passed. Yang Ming did not care if Wu Zhongjie still had questions. He stood up directly and said, "Okay, time is up. I should go." What? Wu Zhongjie had an eye-opener today. This kind of tutor, it was the first time he saw it. In the past, Lin Jiyun would only end when he said it was over. Today this guy actually said it was over first? "I will pay your tutor's fee for the extra time. Why are you in such a hurry to leave?" "I'm sorry, kid. I'm just following the agreement to help Jiyun substitute. Every time it's 2 hours. Guys, I have a date now. I don't have time to care about you. If you have any questions, let's talk about it next time." Yang Ming picked up the book on the table that Lin Jiyun wrote for him and turned to leave. "You stop." Wu Zhongjie was anxious. "I spent money to hire him, but he was actually so arrogant." What were you doing earlier? If you didn't waste some time, you might be able to ask more questions now." Yang Ming looked at Wu Zhongjie and said mockingly. "Then you come over tomorrow and we'll talk about it." Wu Zhongjie snorted. "Tomorrow? There's more? Does this school have them every day?" Yang Ming was stunned and asked. "Why, didn't Sister Jiyun tell you? It seems that your relationship with her isn't good." Wu Zhongjie also learned from Yang Ming's tone and said mockingly. "Motherfucker, this little brat." Yang Ming glared at him and said, "Tomorrow, right? Okay, then I'll see you today." "What is this?" Yang Ming thought as he went downstairs. "I actually have a tutor." "Xiaoyang, you came down." The housewife greeted him enthusiastically and took out 50 yuan and handed it to Yang Ming. "This is the tutor fee this time. When is the next time?" "Isn't it tomorrow?" asked Yang Ming. "Tomorrow? You and Zhongjie made an appointment tomorrow?" The housewife also asked, puzzled. "What's wrong? Is there something wrong?" asked Yang Ming. "Nothing. It was originally twice a week. I didn't expect Zhongjie to like you so much that he asked you to come over." The housewife smiled. "But this shows that Zhongjie likes you. What do I say? You're about the same age, so it's easy to communicate." Fuck. Yang Ming cursed in his heart. "I was tricked by Wu Zhongjie, that little bastard." But he said faintly, "And it's okay." For the 50 yuan handed over by the housewife, Yang Ming didn't refuse. This was his own labor. If he didn't want it, he would be a fool. So he put it directly in his pocket. When he went back, Yang Ming called Lin Jiyun's home and told her that he had completed the task for her. But he also told Lin Jiyun about Wu Zhongjie's evil deeds. "That child is a bit naughty, but if he asks you to go tomorrow, then go. It proves that he likes you." Lin Jiyun smiled. "Likes me? Forget it. This kid is competing with me." Yang Ming also came from that era. How could he not know Wu Zhongjie's thoughts? Back at school, Yang Ming called Chen Mengyan. Fortunately, Chen Mengyan had her phone turned on, and she didn't refuse to answer. She just asked with a cold voice, "Why are you calling me? And do you have time now? I want to see you." Yang Ming hesitated and said, "Timmy, why do you want to see me? Don't you hate it when I care about you?" Chen Mengyan said with some grievances. Originally, the two people had finally reconciled, but they quarreled because of this small matter. Just now, Chen Mengyan even thought, is the relationship between the two people coming to an end? Chen Mengyan had an urge to cry. Is it really my fault? Is it all because of me? Is it just because of the lack of trust that led to the current situation? But my initial doubt was because I cared about Yang Ming. If I didn't care about him, who cares when the photo was taken? Is it just because of my small mistake that I have to accept Yang Ming's fallacy of having multiple wives? Well, I finally convinced myself to accept Lan Ling's existence, but we quarreled because of a small matter. Chen Mengyan felt that she and Yang Ming now didn't have the passion that they had when they were in love. Chen Mengyan was afraid that this wasn't a good sign. So this time when Yang Ming called, Qin Mengyan didn't refuse for the first time. Because her intuition told her that the relationship between the two people couldn't continue to be in a deadlock. If that happened, there would be a big problem. So Qin Mengyan picked up the phone, but she was still a bit unhappy. Aren't you a bit too male chauvinistic now? Your way of doing things is inappropriate and you don't let people talk about it. Chapter 357. I'm sorry, Mengyan. I was too impulsive today, but the person named Zhou Ruoguang was too annoying. I saw that he was harassing you, so I was a little irrational. Yang Ming explained, if he harassed others, I definitely wouldn't care. If that's nice to hear. Qin Mengyan complained. She didn't have so much resentment in her heart. As Yang Ming was right. If he wasn't worried about me, he wouldn't care about Zhou Ruoguang. I'm downstairs in your dormitory. Yang Ming said, come down. I'll wait for you. I'm going to sleep. Qin Mengyan said. I have something to give you. Yang Ming said. Will you wait for me? Qin Mengyan actually didn't want to sleep. It was still early to turn off the lights. She was just being reserved as a girl. It didn't take long for Qin Mengyan to come downstairs. Obviously, she wasn't going to sleep as she said. However, Yang Ming didn't expose it. What are you doing? Why did you call me out so late? Qin Mengyan's eyebrows had some annoyance. Why didn't you call me earlier? Why did you want to come so late? Oh, a friend was sick. I replaced her with a tutoring class. Yang Ming said, otherwise I would have come to you earlier. Look, I haven't eaten dinner yet. Tutoring? Qin Mengyan looked at Yang Ming incredulously. In her impression, Yang Ming didn't seem like a person who could be a teacher. But although I was admitted to university under your guidance, it's more than enough for me to tutor a junior high school child, right? Yang Ming smiled and said, are you looking down on me? That's not true. I asked you a question and was rejected. Qin Mengyan recalled the past events in high school. There was a burst of sweetness in her heart for no reason. That's right. Tell me, did you start to like me at that time? Yang Ming looked at Qin Mengyan with a smile that was not a smile. Of course not. I was just thinking that you did better than me in the exam, and there were some questions that I didn't know how to answer. Qin Mengyan said with a red face. Hehe, you're asking the wrong person. Yang Ming chuckled. But it's useless even if you don't admit it. If you don't like me, why are you so angry when Wang Jitao gave you a photo? You're still talking about me? You didn't even tell me when such a big thing happened. Do you really think of me as your girlfriend? Qin Mengyan frowned unhappily. It's not that I don't treat you as my girlfriend. It's obvious that you didn't agree with me. I spent a long time to get the position of the first suitor. Do you think it's easy for me? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Well, then I'll forgive you this time. Qin Mengyan smiled at Yang Ming's words. Not angry anymore? Yang Ming asked. How can I be so angry? When I'm with you, I have to always be calm. Otherwise, I'll be angered to death by you. Qin Mengyan said as she rolled her eyes at Yang Ming. Yes, this is for you. Yang Ming handed the phone that Bai Hai gave him to Qin Mengyan. I already bought one and this extra one is for Qin Mengyan. In this way, all of my women will use the same phone. However, except for Lan Ling, Yang Ming didn't know how Lan Ling was doing now. Whenever the night was quiet, Yang Ming would always think of her. Although the two of them had only been together for less than 3 months, their feelings for each other were very deep. I don't know how she is learning voodoo. However, Yang Ming also knew that Lan Ling would come back one day, so missing her was futile. What is this? Qin Mengyan took the thing that Yang Ming handed over and glanced at it. Phone? Didn't you buy one for me? Why do you give me another one? A friend gave it to me. He gave me 2 and I'm giving 1 to you. Yang Ming said vaguely. I see. Qin Mengyan nodded. She didn't think much about it. She subconsciously thought that the other one must be kept by Yang Ming, who knew that the other one was now in Lin Jiun's hands. Isn't this an N96? Isn't it expensive? Qin Mengyan glanced at the phone model and asked. I don't know. I did a favor for a friend. He gave it to me as a thank you. Yang Ming casually made up a convincing reason. Well, I will accept it. Qin Mengyan didn't need to be polite with Yang Ming. Since they were boyfriend and girlfriend, there was no need to be too polite. Right, didn't you not eat? Go. I will accompany you to eat something. Okay. Yang Ming nodded happily. Where are we going? I don't know. You tell me. Qin Mengyan said, I rarely go outside the university. I know a good cafe. Why don't we go there? Yang Ming suggested. Is there food in the cafe? Qin Mengyan was curious. There is something like curry rice, right? Yang Ming said, the key is that the atmosphere there is good. Well then let's go. Qin Mengyan didn't care. He could go anywhere. Yang Ming took Qin Mengyan to the 6 college students' cafe. The one who received them was still the boss from that day. Oh, welcome. Is it the usual spot? The boss's eyesight was good. He recognized Yang Ming at a glance. This was also the secret of his business. However, he ignored the female companion beside Yang Ming. He didn't expect that Yang Ming could change girlfriends in such a day. Yang Ming didn't care and nodded. But Qin Mengyan secretly doubted. When they entered the couple's booth, Qin Mengyan's face immediately sank. This is obviously a place for couples. Why did the boss say that it was the usual spot? However, because the boss was present, Qin Mengyan didn't act on the spot. She just looked at Yang Ming with an unkind expression. The lights in the booth were dim. Yang Ming really didn't notice. He ordered a plate of curry beef rice. Qin Mengyan simply ordered a cup of milk tea. After the boss left, Qin Mengyan asked with some jealousy, Yang Ming, have you been here before? And I came here once yesterday. I also sat here. How is it? The environment here is good, right? It is suitable for couples. Mayan, what's wrong with you? As Yang Ming said, he saw Qin Mengyan's face getting worse and worse. Although the lights were dim, Yang Ming's eyesight was good, so he immediately noticed Qin Mengyan's uneasiness. The environment is good, suitable for couples. Yang Ming, did you come here alone yesterday? Although Qin Mengyan was angry, she tried to make her voice sound calmer. Oh, so you are unhappy because of this? Yang Ming didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He finally figured out the reason. It turned out that Qin Mengyan was quite attentive. However, wasn't she a little too jealous? Yesterday I came here with sistering. I asked her about your situation. Oh, so that's the case. Qin Mengyan immediately felt that her face was a little hot. It seems that I misunderstood Yang Ming. I have to be careful next time. I can't be so narrow-minded. Why? Are you happy? Yang Ming joked. Did you think that I came here with other girls? Not at all. I thought you came here alone. I thought you had some narcissistic tendencies. Qin Mengyan defended herself strongly. Yang Ming smiled and didn't expose her. Glad he changed the topic. Right, Mengyan, it's going to be Christmas soon. How are you going to spend it? I haven't thought about it yet. What do you think? Qin Mengyan was now reconciled with Yang Ming. Naturally, she thought about celebrating with Yang Ming. I don't know, but people say that Christmas Eve is the night of losing one's chastity. Do you dare to spend it with me? Yang Ming smiled and looked at Qin Mengyan. Why wouldn't I dare? Qin Mengyan said with a pout, why don't we go to the beach? Although Qin Mengyan said that there was nothing to be afraid of, she subconsciously avoided this question. Now, it was common for college couples to have sex. It wasn't surprising at all. Although Qin Mengyan was a more traditional girl, those around her who were more traditional than her had gone out with their boyfriends. Therefore, Qin Mengyan felt that she and Yang Ming weren't the same. This was also the reason why Qin Mengyan was depressed last time. Therefore, Qin Mengyan wasn't very resistant to the things between men and women. What should happen will happen. What does it matter if it happens sooner or later? Anyway, my heart has been tied to Yang Ming. Therefore, Qin Mengyan was still looking forward to some things to come sooner. If Yang Ming had no interest in her, then she was really worried. Just now, when Yang Ming said that Christmas Eve was the night of losing one's chastity, Qin Mengyan also heard it, but she didn't refute it. Instead, she expressed her own meaning. Whether he could understand it or not, it depended on Yang Ming. I can't be so straightforward, right? Chapter 358. Qin Mengyan's words were too vague. It wasn't that Yang Ming didn't think about it, but the more he thought about it, the more he couldn't understand the real meaning of Qin Mengyan. Why wouldn't I dare? This sentence was really ambiguous. Could be interpreted as several different meanings. First, Qin Mengyan didn't believe that Yang Ming would do anything to her, so she wasn't afraid. Second, Qin Mengyan knew what Yang Ming would do to her, but she had the means to guard against it, so she wasn't afraid. Third, and the most obscene, that was, Qin Mengyan knew what Yang Ming would do to her, but she wasn't afraid because she also wanted to do something with Yang Ming. Therefore, Yang Ming was a bit confused now. What the hell is going on? This is like the famous joke. A man and a woman sleep in the same room. The woman draws a line and then says to the man, "The one who crosses the line is a beast." In the middle of the night, the woman woke up and found that the man really didn't cross the line. The woman slapped the man and said, "You're worse than a beast." Yang Ming was now struggling between being a beast and not a beast, but he couldn't ask Qin Mengyan directly. He could only talk about it when the time came. The beach. There should be a lot of people at Christmas. Yang Ming said, "Or let's go to the movies?" When it came to movies, Qin Mengyan couldn't help but remember the ambiguity in the movie theater during high school, so she glared at Yang Ming and said, "Pervert." "Pervert? What about me?" Yang Ming didn't think so much. "I said we're going to the movies, but I didn't say we're going to watch pornographic videos." "You go to hell." Qin Mengyan said angrily, "I knew you didn't have good intentions." Yang Ming was wronged. What happened to me? However, Yang Ming immediately understood what was going on. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Mengyan, I'm really talking about going to the movies." "Just going to the movies. I didn't say anything else." Qin Mengyan curled her lips. She was not against getting closer to Yang Ming, so she said, "Well, let's watch a movie, but we have to book the tickets in advance, right?" Said to be very difficult to buy. "I will do this." Yang Ming nodded and said, "I will contact you when the time comes." After the curry beef rice and milk tea were served, Yang Ming ate quickly. Qin Mengyan also drank some milk tea. After eating, they didn't stay here for long because they still had classes tomorrow. After sending Qin Mengyan back to the dormitory, Yang Ming breathed a sigh of relief. His relationship with Qin Mengyan had finally improved. Moreover, the ambiguous feeling from before seemed to be recovering. This was a good sign. Yang Ming returned to the dormitory and saw Tian Donghua chatting with Zhang Bin. Yang Ming smiled and said, "Old Tian, what are you talking about? Why are you so happy?" "Ha, Yang Ming, you didn't go to school today. You don't know. Wang Shui promised me to go out with me on Christmas Eve. I am asking Zhang Bin how to deal with her." Tian Donghua grinned. "Wang Shui promised you?" Yang Ming was surprised. He didn't expect the two of them to progress so quickly. "What about Zhou Jiejia? You didn't go today. Wang Jitao, that idiot, sat in your position. He talked to Zhou Jiejia stupidly for a day. I was annoyed by it." Tian Donghua scolded, "You should go tomorrow. I don't want him there. It's so fucking annoying." Yang Ming smiled. "This Zhou Jiejia is much smarter than Qin Mengyan. Wang Jitao, you can't even catch up with Qin Mengyan. You still want to chase Zhou Jiejia? I really don't know what to think." The next day, Yang Ming and Yang Ming went to class together. Wang Jitao saw that Yang Ming was sitting in his seat yesterday. He was a little unhappy. "Yang Ming, let's change seats?" Yang Ming wanted to get up. Zhou Jiejia was immediately unwilling. "Yang Ming, I have something to ask you." Wang Jitao reluctantly snorted and sat in the front seat helplessly. However, he began to ponder in his heart. Zhou Jiejia liked to sit next to Yang Ming more than once or twice. Could it be that Zhou Jiejia likes Yang Ming? But how am I worse than Yang Ming? Why do all the beauties like him? Wang Jitao was very depressed. He was going to find an opportunity to probe Zhou Jiejia's attitude. He would also reveal to Zhou Jiejia that Yang Ming had a girlfriend so that she would completely give up. "What's the matter?" Yang Ming sighed and asked. He knew that this time Wang Jitao was jealous of him again. Could it be that Zhou Jiejia wanted to use this method to retaliate against me? She pretended to be close to me to cause Wang Jitao's jealousy so that it would lead to a conflict between me and Wang Jitao? But it seemed that this possibility wasn't very high. Wang Jitao was just a student. Zhou Jiejia wouldn't think that he had any powerful means to retaliate. What was the reason? Could it be that she was using me as a shield? Thinking of this, Yang Ming felt a chill. It was possible and very possible. "Are you going to the reunion on the 26th? Now the online registration has started." Zhou Jiejia said. "Scope. Do you know the list?" asked Yang Ming. "I'm not too sure about this, but it shouldn't be Suya. She has no contact with everyone," Zhou Jiejia whispered. Yang Ming frowned. He glanced at Zhou Jiejia and said, "You still have the nerve to mention her? I just want to say sorry to her when I see her." Zhou Jiejia sighed and said, "Forget it. I don't want to think about this anymore. Don't mention it again in the future." Why does Yang Ming feel that this is so much like a conspiracy? What does Zhou Jiejia mean by saying this to me? Yang Ming was secretly vigilant. "Oh, okay, but if there is a chance I will definitely say it," Zhou Jiejia said firmly. Yang Ming shook his head and stopped talking. Then I will help you register your name, asked Zhou Jiejia. Okay, but is there a difference between registering and not registering? Yang Ming asked. If I don't register then I can't go? That's not the case. The key is to count the approximate number of people to book a room. Zhou Jiejia said. Also there may be a fee of 100 yuan per person. Is that okay? No, when will it be paid? No. Yang Ming shook his head and asked. You can pay it later. Zhou Jiejia said. You can swim there. If you want to swim you can bring a swimsuit. Let's do this. Isn't there still class during the day on the 26th? You can remind me then. Yang Ming was afraid that he would forget, so he said this. Okay, no problem. Zhou Jiejia nodded happily. This was good. She was wondering if she could start with Yang Ming from school. This way there would be a chance to be alone. At noon Yang Ming called Qin Mengyan and asked her to go to the cafeteria to eat, but Tian Donghua also followed with a thick face. He went, so Wang Shui naturally went. Of course Zhou Jiejia was also there. Yang Ming had a headache. What is going on with Zhou Jiejia going? 3 women and 2 men? What a strange combination. Qin Mengyan saw Yang Ming and the 2 men and 2 women coming over. She was also stunned because this combination was too easy to cause misunderstandings. Hello, are you Yang Ming's girlfriend? Zhou Jiejia said to Qin Mengyan with enthusiasm. Who are you? Qin Mengyan had some doubts. What is the relationship between this girl who is not inferior to me and Yang Ming? Seeing that she came over, Qin Mengyan couldn't help but be vigilant. I am Yang Ming's junior high school classmate. My name is Zhou Jiejia. Zhou Jiejia took the initiative to reach out her hand. Oh hello. I am Qin Mengyan, Yang Ming's girlfriend. Qin Mengyan emphasized her identity and shook hands with Zhou Jiejia. This is my high school classmate Wang Shui. Zhou Jiejia introduced Wang Shui. Qin Mengyan nodded to her, but now she also understood how this strange combination was formed. Qin Mengyan knew Tian Donghua, who was next to Wang Shui. He was Yang Ming's roommate. Looking at his intimacy with Wang Shui, it wasn't difficult to guess the relationship between them. This Zhou Jiejia must be Wang Shui's good friend, and she was Yang Ming's junior high school classmate, so she followed. Thinking of this, Qin Mengyan was slightly relieved. Wang Jitao was depressed. Seeing that Zhou Jiejia and Yang Ming left together, Wang Jitao's revenge heart began to play tricks again. Damn Yang Ming, I have already tolerated you, but you are still pushing your luck. You have repeatedly ruined my good deeds. However, it was a bit difficult for Wang Jitao and Yang Ming to confront each other head-on. Wang Jitao also knew that Yang Ming wasn't easy to deal with, and he had a relationship with the underworld. Therefore Wang Jitao thought of a bad idea. An idea that he could argue with Yang Ming without him showing up. But, what's his name? Right, it's Sun Jiwei. Isn't he at odds with Yang Ming? Then I will provoke him again. Chapter 359. Excluding the hostility to Zhou Jiejia, Qin Mengyan didn't deliberately guard against Zhou Jiejia. Instead, Zhou Jiejia got a lot of information about Yang Ming from her. Mengyan, so you and Yang Ming were in the same high school? Asked Zhou Jiejia. Yeah, but we only got together in the 3rd year of high school. Speaking of this, Qin Mengyan felt a sense of accomplishment. After all, Yang Ming was admitted to Songjiang Industry University because of her. After Zhou Jiejia heard it, she couldn't help but be speechless. She didn't expect that because of that incident Yang Ming actually fell for so long. But at the same time, Zhou Jiejia lamented Qin Mengyan's good luck. Yang Ming fell because of a woman, but he cheered up because of another woman. And this woman was Qin Mengyan. It could be seen that Qin Mengyan's position in Yang Ming's heart was irreplaceable. Of course, Zhou Jiejia also ignored one person, and that was Zhao Ying. After knowing the details of Qin Mengyan, Zhou Jiejia also became enthusiastic. If she became Yang Ming's girlfriend in the future, getting Suya's approval was one thing, but intuition told Zhou Jiejia that Qin Mengyan wasn't an easy person to deal with. Although she was kind on the surface, she still felt the hostility toward her before. Fortunately, now Qin Mengyan didn't guard against Zhou Jiejia. She was also very happy to chat with her, especially about Yang Ming. Under Zhou Jiejia's special agreement, Qin Mengyan also talked a lot about Yang Ming's hobbies, character and so on. Although it wasn't a particularly important thing, Zhou Jiejia got a very important message. That was Yang Ming was very soft-hearted. Zhou Jiejia knew this, which was equivalent to having a breakthrough. Well, then I will silently contribute. One day you will be soft-hearted. Qin Mengyan didn't expect her unintentional words to become the motivation of her love rival. If she knew, wouldn't she regret it? In the afternoon, since Wang Jitao already had a plan, he didn't hate Yang Ming so much. In the evening, Yang Ming told Qin Mengyan that he still had to do tutoring, so he couldn't accompany her. Qin Mengyan was very understanding. After all, it was a serious matter, so she was very supportive of Yang Ming, and asked if she wanted to wait for him to come back to have dinner together. Qin Mengyan was very understanding. After all, it was a business, so she was very supportive of Yang. She also asked if she would wait for him to come back to have dinner together with him? She was Yang Ming didn't drive today. He directly took a taxi to Wu Zhongjie's house. Because it was snowing outside, the road wasn't very good. Today the housewife didn't say much. She just said to Yang Ming that Wu Zhongjie was at the door. She asked Yang Ming to go up by himself. Yang Ming was very ashamed. It seemed that Wu Zhongjie's mother still trusted him very much. Yang Ming went upstairs by himself. As expected, he was met with a closed door. Yang Ming knocked on the door and said impatiently, "Hurry up and open the door. Little bastard, if you don't open the door I will leave." "Didn't you say that you can come in by yourself? If you admit that you can't come in, I will open the door for you." Wu Zhongjie's voice came out. "It seems that this kid has premeditated it." Yang Ming said angrily, "Damn, I told you. Don't challenge my patience with ignorance. If I open the door, you are dead." "You open it first," Wu Zhongjie said without compromise. How could Yang Ming not know what he was thinking? Yesterday Wu Zhongjie definitely thought that Yang Ming came in by taking the key from his mother. But after Yang Ming left, he would definitely ask his mother. When he got a negative answer, Wu Zhongjie would be puzzled. How did Yang Ming come in? Out of curiosity, Wu Zhongjie once again refused to let Yang Ming in. He wanted to see what he could do. Since this kid wanted to see, Yang Ming didn't want to argue with him. He took a paper clip and poked the keyhole a few times. With yesterday's experience, it was easier to open the door today. It was opened in a few seconds. Wu Zhongjie was standing at the door at the moment. He stared at the door that suddenly opened and was shocked. He looked at the paper clip in Yang Ming's hand in surprise. "You used this to open the door? Nonsense, do you think I have the key to your house?" Yang Ming rolled his eyes and said, "Well, I will do what I said. Little brat, you are dead." "Wait, big brother. Let's talk about it." Wu Zhongjie was completely convinced today. Damn, is this person educated? He is simply a thief. Open the door with a paper clip? Isn't this the Sister Qing in the movies? "Big brother, you didn't call me that yesterday." Yang Ming slanted his mouth and said sarcastically, "Big brother, can you teach me how to open the door?" Wu Zhongjie said with some envy, That is a secret manual." Yang Ming pretended to be deep and said, "Big brother, I promise to teach well in class and won't make things difficult for you. Can you teach me?" Wu Zhongjie begged. "Okay, but there is a condition." Yang Ming nodded and said, "What condition?" Wu Zhongjie asked immediately. "I can't teach you now. Let's wait until after your final exam. If the results are good, I can consider teaching you my unique skill." Yang Ming said mysteriously, "Are you serious?" Wu Zhongjie was obviously interested in Yang Ming's unique skill. "Of course, there is no point in lying to a little kid like you." Yang Ming nodded and said solemnly. He found it funny in his heart. Kids are easy to fool. With such a trick, this kid was stunned. "Okay, then it's a deal." Wu Zhongjie also nodded and then actually sat in front of the desk obediently. "Big brother, then let's start. Call me Brother Yang in the future. Big brother sounds awkward." Yang Ming corrected him. "Hey, Brother Yang." Wu Zhongjie quickly changed. Sure enough, Wu Zhongjie was more honest today. Not only was his tone better, but his learning attitude was also more positive. Yang Ming successfully finished 2 hours of tutoring and said, "Let's stop here today. When is the next time?" "Brother Yang, can you come tomorrow?" Wu Zhongjie didn't have the arrogance of yesterday, but asked tentatively. "Tomorrow? If you cheated me yesterday." I asked clearly. "You tutor twice a week, but you told me to come every day?" Yang Ming snorted. I like Brother Yang to tutor me." Wu Zhongjie saw that his lie was exposed yesterday, so he laughed embarrassedly. "Okay, I will come tomorrow if I have nothing to do. But do you have so many questions that you don't know?" Yang Ming felt that Wu Zhongjie was quite smart, so there shouldn't be any problems. If not, Brother Yang, teach me something else. Wu Zhongjie said slyly. Yang Ming naturally understood Wu Zhongjie's thoughts. He smiled and didn't say anything. After receiving the tutoring fee, Yang Ming returned to school. On the way, he received 2 short messages. One was from Qin Mengyan, asking if he had finished the tutoring. He missed him. Yang Ming quickly replied to the message and told Qin Mengyan that he was on the way back to school and missed her too. The other message was from an unfamiliar number. When he opened it, the message said, I am Lin Jiun. This is my phone number. This card was used by my father at home. I will be using it for 2 days. Did the tutoring go well? Lin Jiun's father went out to do business. He should have changed the card in Donghai, so this card was left at home. Yang Ming replied to her message, the tutoring is finished. It seems that Wu Zhongjie is quite welcoming to me. He asked me to continue teaching him tomorrow. How is your leg? Not long after, Lin Jiun and Qin Mengyan's messages arrived at the same time. Qin Mengyan said, I am surfing the internet in the dormitory. When you return to school, come online and find me. Yang Ming replied, okay, I will find you after going online. Lin Jiun said, that's not bad. You continue to teach him tomorrow. My leg is much better. Your bottle of medicine is still at my house. What should I do? Yang Ming looked at the message and was scared. He left in a hurry that day and forgot to bring the medicine back to Fong Tian's residence. Moreover, Yang Ming planned to investigate Fong Tian's house carefully. According to Yang Ming's later recollection, that day was definitely not an illusion. Someone really patted his shoulder. Moreover, the loud noise in Fong Tian's house was real too. Yang Ming didn't believe that he would have auditory and tactile hallucinations. But it was too late tonight. Yang Ming decided to check it out tomorrow and visit Lin Jiun. So he replied, I will leave it with you first. I will visit you tomorrow. As soon as the text message was sent, the phone rang. Yang Ming glanced at the caller. It was Ho Jinhan. Yang Ming picked it up. Hello Big Ho, what's the matter? Chapter 360. I am discussing with Bao Sanli. I want to give the gang a name, so I am asking for Brother Yang's opinion. Ho Jinhan said. I am in a taxi now. Let's do this. I will call you after I go back. Yang Ming said. Now that there were outsiders present, it was not very convenient for Yang Ming to speak. Hey, Brother Yang. Ho Jinhan didn't ask much and hung up. Back in the dormitory, Yang Ming turned on his laptop. While the computer was booting up, Yang Ming returned a call to Ho Jinhan. Big Ho, I am back in the dormitory. We can talk now. Yang Ming said. This is the case. I am discussing with Bao Sanli. Should we give a name to the gang? Ho Jinhan suggested. Now we are the #1 underworld gang in Songjiang. And the problem of the name you decided yourself. Yang Ming hesitated and said, but you and Bao Sanli should discuss it. The gang should be restructured as soon as possible and set up an industry as soon as possible. The underworld is not the right path. What you have to do is to control the underworld and not let others get involved. I understand, Brother Yang. I mean to set up a security company first and then open some entertainment venues. What do you think of this approach? Ho Jinhan asked. That's right, let's do as you say. You can decide on these. Yang Ming said, if you lack funds just tell me. This is also what I want to tell you. To set up a company you need a lot of funds. Although the gang is relatively large, it is still very poor. Many underlings have no salary. Ho Jinhan said, this is not a long-term solution, so I decided to set up a security company. With this, these underlings have something to do. How much do you want? Just tell me. Yang Ming nodded and said. He was not short of funds. Moreover, it didn't cost much to set up a security company. Also, Bao Sanli will hold a banquet on the 3rd of next month. He will invite some big bosses. Brother Yang, will you come? Ho Jinhan asked. In what capacity should I appear? His friend. Yang Ming smiled and said, Bao Sanli has already told me about this. I will consider it then. And Brother Yang, is there anything else? Asked Ho Jinhan. Alright, can you get the movie tickets for the Huahai 3D cinema? On Christmas Eve. Yang Ming asked. Movie tickets, of course, no problem. Now all the entertainment venues in Songjiang City dare not to give us face. Ho Jinhan smiled and said, I will call you when I get it. Okay. Yang Ming nodded and ended the call. Logging into QQ, sure enough, Chin Mengyan was online. Yang Ming double-clicked the profile picture of "There's no true love in this world" and then said to her, "I'm here. Why is it so slow? I've been waiting for you for a long time." Chin Mengyan immediately replied, "And his home is a little far away. I took a taxi back." Yang Ming said, "Oh yes, Zhao Cece just told me that she wanted to watch a movie with us on Christmas Eve. She asked if she could still buy tickets. She and Zhang Bin just went to buy tickets and they were sold out." Chin Mengyan said, "No way. There are still a few days left. The tickets are sold out. I don't know if Ho Junhan can get the movie tickets. I will ask Zhang Bin later. I don't know if I can get the tickets here. I also asked a friend." Yang Ming said, "Okay, actually I'm fine. I just want to talk to you." Chin Mengyan had just recovered her relationship with Yang Ming. She was unconsciously attached to Yang Ming. After talking with Chin Mengyan for a while, Yang Ming was about to go offline. "I'm a Superstar" suddenly came online. Yang Ming was helpless. He wanted to go out and talk to Zhang Bin, but now he couldn't pretend that he didn't see it. Who asked him to not be invisible? "Long time no see. I'm a Superstar," said to Yang Ming after she came online. "It hasn't been long, right? Why are you online so late?" asked Yang Ming. "I just took a break so I came online to take a look. I didn't expect you to be here." "I'm a Superstar," said, "and I was about to go offline and you came online." Yang Ming said, "Christmas is coming. I feel so bored." "I'm a Superstar," suddenly said. "What's wrong? Aren't you a star? There should be an event for Christmas, right?" asked Yang Ming. "I don't know. Maybe it's a promotional event. Who knows?" "I'm a Superstar," said indifferently. "Why don't you have a boyfriend to accompany you?" asked Yang Ming. "Of course not. Don't you already know that I don't have a boyfriend?" "I'm a Superstar," said. "Then you're not going to find one? Don't all stars like to hype up scandals?" asked Yang Ming. "I don't need to hype up. I'm a Superstar," said. Yang Ming didn't care. He thought that she was so unknown that even the news didn't want to hype her. "Do you have a picture? Send it to me." "Send yours first." "I'm a Superstar," said. "I'm too ugly to look at. I'm afraid I'll scare you," said Yang Ming. "Me too. Same here. I'm a Superstar," said. After chatting with I'm a Superstar for a while, she said that she was going to wash her face and sleep. Yang Ming turned off the computer and came to the living room. Tian Donghua and Zhang Bin were still there talking about the secrets of picking up girls. "Zhang Bin, I heard that you didn't get a movie ticket today?" asked Yang Ming. "That's right. Damn, it was all sold out. A ticket costs more than 100 yuan and it's for the ordinary seats. The couple seats cost more than 400 yuan. Why are people so rich now?" Zhang Bin complained. "Who asked you not to go earlier?" "Right, I asked a friend to get the tickets. If he gets it, will you go?" asked Yang Ming. "Count me in. Count me in. I'll go too." Before Zhang Bin could speak, Tian Donghua raised his hand and shouted, "I can't guarantee the tickets." Yang Ming shook his head and gave him a heads up in advance. "Then give it to me." Zhang Bin said, "I want it first." "No, everyone has a share." "How about one ticket for each person?" said Tian Donghua. "One ticket for each person? Am I going to see it with your wife or are you going to see it with my wife? Or are both of us going to see it?" asked Zhang Bin. "Do you want your wife and my wife to see it?" Tian Donghua suggested. "I despise you," said Zhang Bin. Yang Ming didn't argue with them. He went back to his room and prepared to sleep. He had to visit Lin Jiyun tomorrow and inquire about Fong Tian's residence. Early the next morning, Ho Junhan's phone call came in. It seemed that his efficiency was quite high. In other words, there was no entertainment venue in Songjiang City that dared not to give him face. "Brother Yang, the tickets are here. 3 sets of couple seats and 2 ordinary seats. Is it enough?" Ho Junhan said. "Huahai's boss is stingy enough. He only gave a few tickets. It seems that it is necessary to find a time to beat him up." "It's enough. It's enough." Yang Ming said, "Send them to my school later." "No problem. If it's not enough, I will ask for more from him," said Ho Junhan. In fact, Ho Junhan really misunderstood the boss of Huahai Cinema. The tickets for Christmas Eve were very tight. Let's talk about couple seats. He reserved 20 of the best seats. He had to give them to some of the competent departments. In addition, some relatives and friends also got tickets from him. Ho Junhan called him. He didn't say anything and took 3 of the best couple seats and 2 ordinary seats. But there was no other way. Wahai's boss also knew that if he offended others he would lose face at most. But if he offended Ho Junhan then it was over. What kind of person was Ho Junhan? If this group of people came to the cinema to make trouble all day, then the cinema should close early. What? Call the police. Can the police be here every day? When the police leave then your cinema can wait to be renovated. After talking to Zhang Bin and Zhang Bin, both of them were very happy. Although Zhang Jiefeng was also a very resourceful person, Zhang Bin couldn't trouble Zhang Jiefeng because of this. And Tian Donghua he couldn't use the power of his family because of this. Only Yang Ming was the most convenient because Ho Junhan was originally his underling. Ho Junhan came very quickly. Not long after, Yang Ming received a call from him, saying that he had arrived at the school gate. Yang Ming didn't eat breakfast. He went directly to the school gate and saw a very broken Jetta parked at the school gate. Ho Junhan was sitting in the driver's seat. The exterior of the Jetta had traces of spray paint. Apparently, it was an official car of a department that was eliminated. Of course, it could also be a scrap taxi. You drive this car? Yang Ming looked at Ho Junhan's car with some amazement. Chapter 361. It's good to have a car. Do you think we are as cool as the foreign gangs? Driving around in a Rolls-Royce? This car was given to me by a friend. It's a scrapped Jetta. Just drive it. Ho Junhan smiled bitterly. It's like driving a helicopter. You have to change gears several times. Let me feel it. Yang Ming said, it just so happens that I have something to do. Brother Yang, this car is hard to drive. Is it okay? Ho Junhan reminded him. It's okay. Can it be harder to drive than the 212 Jeep in the driving school? Yang Ming sat in the driver's seat and started the engine. That's true, but you have to be careful. Ho Junhan said. As an assassin, how can I pick a car? Yang Ming was actually training his ability to adapt. Fortunately, this car wasn't as hard to drive as he imagined. He just stopped the engine once at the beginning. After that, there was no problem. Wait for me here for a while. Yang Ming told Ho Junhan, I have something to do. Ho Junhan nodded. Yang Ming came to Lin Jiun's door and knocked on the door. The person who opened the door was actually Xin Yueping. You didn't go out? Yang Ming greeted. Not yet, little Yang. Why are you here so early today? Xin Yueping asked with a smile. Did you miss Yun Air? Yang Ming was blushed by Xin Yueping and said, hee a little. I was just about to go out. Then you go and play with Yun Air. Yun Air's legs haven't recovered yet. Don't mess around too much. Xin Yueping wanted Yang Ming not to play some female on top games, but she was an elder. It was hard to say, so she could only vaguely remind him. Don't worry. Yang Ming didn't know what she meant, so he could only agree vaguely. The two confused people thought that they understood each other, so they didn't say much. After Xin Yueping left, Yang Ming entered the house. Lin Jiun obviously hadn't woken up for long. She was brushing her teeth in the bathroom. Because the door wasn't closed, Yang Ming could see her. Wait for me. I'm almost done. Lin Jiun's mouth was full of foam as she said vaguely. It's fine. There's no rush. Take your time, Yang Ming said. Done. Lin Jiun rinsed her toothbrush, put the gargle cup on the shelf and then wiped her mouth with a towel. How's your leg? Seems that you are much better? Yang Ming looked at Lin Jiun, who could already walk, and said with joy. It's much better. If I don't use too much force it won't hurt. The medicine yesterday was quite effective. Lin Jiun said. Find a bottle and pour some out. I'll return the rest, Yang Ming said. There's no need, right? It's almost healed. Can I just apply some medicine later? Lin Jiun shook her head and said. It doesn't matter. This medicine is very effective. It's good to keep some at home. Yang Ming said, it won't expire anyway. Right, Yang Ming, don't you have class today? Why are you here so early in the morning? Lin Jiun asked. I came out to do something today. Came to see you. Yang Ming said, you rest. I'll return the medicine. Yang Ming remembered the strangeness of that day. He always felt uneasy. So if he didn't investigate clearly, this matter would always be a knot in Yang Ming's heart. It was better to investigate early. Then you go. Lin Jiun saw that Yang Ming had business, so she naturally couldn't disturb him. Although she didn't have any meaning at home, she also hoped that Yang Ming would accompany her here. Right, you don't have any meaning at home. Shall I get you a computer? Yang Ming walked to the door and suddenly thought of this problem, so he turned back and said, Computer? There's no need. I'll be done soon. How could Lin Jun ask for Yang Ming's things again? It was a bit unclear now. If she asked for it again, then the relationship between the two of them, and let's talk about this next time. Yang Ming said, Don't think so much. Lin Jun saw that Yang Ming insisted and she was somewhat helpless. Yang Ming was very gentle and considerate to her these days, but he was full of male chauvinism. His character was very overbearing. It could be seen from the fact that he beat up Wu Xingkai. Therefore Lin Jun was really a bit stubborn. She had to let Yang Ming do as he wished. Yang Ming came out from Lin Jun's house and didn't stop. He quickly came to Fang Tian's house. Without the anxiety last time, Yang Ming first used his X-ray vision to observe the situation in Fang Tian's house. Everything was normal. There was nothing strange. Could it be that he was really imagining things? Yang Ming thought with some doubts. Young man, why don't you go in? Suddenly a voice came from behind Yang Ming. Yang Ming was so scared that he quivered. Motherfucker, it was silent again. I didn't even feel that someone had appeared behind me. Yang Ming turned his head abruptly. Unfortunately there was nothing behind him. But this time Yang Ming didn't intend to let go of anything. Yang Ming carefully glanced at every corner behind him, including other people's houses and courtyards. There was nothing suspicious. Yang Ming's scalp was numb. Am I so unlucky? Why do I encounter strange things every time I come here? However, Yang Ming wasn't a timid person. He could only brace himself and go forward. Taking out the key to open the door, Yang Ming entered Fang Tian's room. Pushing open the door to the inner room, Yang Ming wanted to step in, but he stopped there in shock. He opened his mouth wide and looked at the scene in the room inconceivably. Luckily, Yang Ming's concentration wasn't good. Otherwise, the medicine bottle in his hand would have almost been thrown to the ground. On the bed where Fang Tian usually slept, there was an old man sitting there, staring at him with a piercing gaze. When did he come in? Yang Ming felt that he was going crazy. Just now, I clearly saw that there was no one in the room. How did this old man? Could it be that the person who was talking to me was him? Excuse me, you are? Yang Ming asked carefully. Intuition told him that this guy in front of him must be a master. Is he a ghost? Yang Ming didn't believe it. You're Yang Ming? The old man suddenly raised his head. His eyes flashed a sharp light as he looked at Yang Ming. Yes, I am Yang Ming. Yang Ming didn't deny it and nodded directly. Since this old man asked, he must have investigated clearly. Therefore it was useless for Yang Ming to lie. Not bad. Do you want to learn from me? Asked the old man. Skills? What skills? What can you teach me? Yang Ming was somewhat inexplicable. An old man suddenly appeared to teach him skills. Anyone would find it strange. You are Fang Tian's apprentice. The old man said. His master saved my life. You want to teach me skills because you want to repay the kindness? Yang Ming was getting more and more confused. If you want to repay the kindness, why don't you teach Fang Tian? Why do you have to skip generations to teach? There is this part of the reason, but not the whole reason. There is a very important reason. The old man said. What's the reason? Asked Yang Ming. I can't tell you. The old man said. Yang Ming almost fell when he heard the old man's words. Is there anyone who is so straightforward? Isn't this the same as not saying anything? Yang Ming was a bit confused. How did this old man find me? Fang Tian asked you to come? Yang Ming could only think so, and this was the only possibility. At present, only Fang Tian and Dong Jun knew his relationship with Fang Tian. He can't order me to do anything. The old man said faintly. Although his master saved my life, I have already used other ways to repay him. So in terms of favors, I don't owe him anything. Then you are? Yang Ming was completely confused. Since this person wasn't sent by Fang Tian and he knew my background, don't worry, I won't harm you. The old man smiled and said, I came here because someone wanted me to come here, but I can't tell you too much now. Just one sentence, do you want to learn? I want to learn, but you have to tell me what you can teach me, right? Yang Ming didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Is there such a compelling person? Medical skills. As an assassin, if you know medical skills, your chances of death will be greatly reduced. The old man said. Medical skills. You're a doctor? Yang Ming didn't think this old man was a doctor. It was believable to say that he was a martial arts master, but to say that he was a doctor, you don't have to care about who I am. Since you agreed, then this book will be handed over to you. The old man said, well, my task is completed. I should go. As soon as his voice fell, the old man took out a book from his arms and threw it to Yang Ming. Then he disappeared in a blink of an eye. Chapter 362. This old man looked for me just to give me a book? Yang Ming was a little confused as he held the thread-bound blue book in his hand. This is called teaching me a skill? Sounds so nice, but it is just a broken book. Looking at the printing quality, it is estimated to be worth 3 to 5 yuan at the pirated bookstall. However, the binding method and paper of this book are quite special. It is a bit like the ancient feeling. It is like the martial arts secret book 9 in true scripture that is commonly seen on TV. Is this old man making fun of me? Yang Ming opened the book in his hand. When he opened it, he suddenly felt dizzy. What is this? Traditional Chinese characters? Is it a handwritten copy? Traditional Chinese characters are not easy to recognize. Since it is written in handwriting, Yang Ming was very dizzy. After reading a line of content with a stammer, Yang Ming was even more inexplicable. Classical Chinese? Although he recognized the text above, Yang Ming simply couldn't understand the meaning of the words written above. Is this old man a scammer or something like that? But it doesn't seem like it. This old man doesn't ask for money or things. He disappeared after giving me a book. What can he scam me for? With his skill, performing on the street would earn more than scamming. Moreover, this old man knows me very well. He shouldn't be a scammer. But that is strange. Since this old man wasn't found by Fong Tian who sent him. From the tone of the old man, he obviously didn't have a direct connection with me. He also said that he was entrusted by someone. Even Fong Tian's master couldn't do it. Who has such great power to make this old man find me? Although Yang Ming was puzzled, he knew that these things couldn't be answered for the time being. Since it was determined that this old man wasn't a scammer, then this book was most likely real. However, was there a need to go through so much trouble just to give him a book? Now that the postal service is so developed, you can just find a courier company to send it over. Yang Ming put away Fong Tian's medicine bottle and then took the thread-bound book back to school. Of course, Yang Ming didn't tell anyone about this matter, including Ho Junhan. He just said that he was visiting a classmate. Fortunately, Ho Junhan wasn't a talkative person. Although he saw Yang Ming take a book, he didn't ask much. When he returned to school, Ho Junhan gave Yang Ming an envelope and said that there were movie tickets inside. Yang Ming glanced at it and put it in his book. It was obviously impossible to go to class now. Yang Ming decided to find Xiaoqing. Of course, there was no other meaning. He just wanted to see Xiaoqing. Yang Ming came to Xiaoqing's office in the computer control building. Just as he was about to knock on the door, he heard a conversation inside. However, Yang Ming didn't think much about it. He thought that it was a teacher who came to talk, so he knocked on the door directly. Xiaoqing's voice came from inside. Please come in. Yang Ming pushed open the door and walked in, but he saw a very familiar man sitting on the sofa opposite Xiaoqing. It was Song Hang. As for Song Hang, after seeing Yang Ming, his face immediately changed. He didn't expect to actually meet Yang Ming here. Last time he thought that Yang Ming was Xiaoqing's temporary boyfriend that she didn't know from where. Sister Xiaoqing, who is this? Yang Ming asked as if he didn't know him. This is President Song of Huatong Trading Company. Xiaoqing also deliberately called Song Hang as President Song to show the distance. Oh, it turns out to be a funeral. Yang Ming glanced at Song Hang and stretched out his hand. He deliberately said President Song as funeral. Song Hang apparently heard it too. He snorted and said, Director Xiao, is this how you treat your guests? I'm representing Huatong Trading Company to talk about this cooperation. If you have this attitude, then I will leave. President Song, I don't know what you mean by treating your guests. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Xiaoqing deliberately pretended that she didn't know anything. He knows what he called me just now. Song Hang glared at Yang Ming and turned to leave. Funeral. I won't send you off. Yang Ming wanted him to leave quickly, so he added another sentence. Kid, you can't be too arrogant or you will get hurt easily. Song Hang finished coldly and then quickly left Xiaoqing's office. Sister Xiaoqing, why did he come to Songjiang from Hong Kong? Is he looking for you? Yang Ming asked curiously. Not at all. Xiaoqing smiled bitterly and shook her head. Yang Ming, you offended him this time. Originally I had a conflict with him. Now it seems that the cooperation will be terminated. Cooperation? What the hell is going on? Sister Xiaoqing? Are you blaming me for driving him away? Yang Ming was stunned. He didn't expect Song Heng to come to talk about cooperation. He thought he was here to harass Xiaoqing again. How would I dare to blame you? Xiaoqing smiled and said with some blame, but I'm happy that you're worried about me, but things aren't what you think. Our school's computer science department wants to buy a batch of experimental equipment. The domestic supplier of this equipment is Hong Kong Huatong Trading Group. I don't know how Song Heng suddenly became the general manager of the Huatong Group's Songjiang branch. This time he came to talk to me on behalf of the Huatong Group. What experimental equipment? Do we have to look for him? Asked Yang Ming. And Huatong Group is the agent of this equipment company in China. If you want to buy equipment you can only go through them. Xiaoqing said. Song Heng is the general manager of the Huatong Group's Songjiang branch? Is there such a coincidence? Yang Ming frowned. Is it really a coincidence? In fact, things are really coincidental. Song Heng returned to Songjiang this time because he did have an idea for Xiaoqing. In his opinion, if he used some means he wasn't afraid that Xiaoqing wouldn't comply. As for the means he could consider it slowly. But what he didn't expect was that he hadn't used his means yet, and his opportunity came first. The group headquarters said that Songjiang Industry University wanted to order a batch of experimental equipment and asked Song Heng to represent them. When Song Heng got the list of Songjiang Industry University's procurement project team, he couldn't help but laugh. The person in charge of the project team was Xiaoqing. Song Heng felt that God was really helping him. If this opportunity was used well, Xiaoqing was likely to become his. It was reasonable to say that when it came to business cooperation, it was usually the buyer's market. But this cooperation wasn't like this. The equipment that Xiaoqing wanted to purchase was the exclusive agent of the Huatong Group, and other companies didn't have other similar equipment for sale. Therefore, to purchase this equipment it must go through the Huatong Group. Therefore, Song Heng felt that as long as he made things difficult, he wasn't afraid that Xiaoqing wouldn't comply. Just as he was racking his brain to find a way to find fault, Yang Ming appeared. Yang Ming's words just gave Song Heng a reason to leave. Yang Ming knew that his own rashness caused Song Heng to leave. He said with some shame, Sister Xiaoqing, I'm sorry. I didn't know that this was the case. What should I do now? Forget it. I will contact him again. He can't just stop doing business because of this personal grievance, right? You know, this is a big order of tens of millions. Said Xiaoqing. Well, Sister Xiaoqing, if there are difficulties you can tell me. I will find a way. Said Yang Ming. There shouldn't be any problem, right? Wouldn't it be a fool to not earn money? Xiaoqing said with a smile. Right, Yang Ming, why are you looking for me? Can't I come to see you if there's nothing? I just miss you so I came to see you. Yang Ming said. That's not it. You came to me at this time. I thought you had something to do. Xiaoqing shook her head. Right, Yang Ming, Mom and Dad asked when you would go back to see. You haven't been back for a while, right? It's only been a few days. Yang Ming said, well, I will go and see them tonight, but it will be a little later because I have to tutor a child. You're going to tutor? Xiaoqing was very surprised after listening. You are an invisible rich man and you are still going to tutor others to make money? Sweat. Who said that I was going to make money? I was just a substitute tutor for a friend, but the child seemed to welcome me very much. She let me go every day. Yang Ming said, little girl? Xiaoqing asked with a smile. Why, are you jealous? Yang Ming didn't answer but asked a question. Jealous? Are you kidding? I have never been jealous. Xiaoqing tilted her head and looked at Yang Ming. I am afraid that you will abduct an underage girl. That child is a man. My sexual orientation is normal. Sister Xiaoqing, you should know. Yang Ming said quickly. You are not serious. Xiaoqing scolded and then asked, do I need to wait for you to have dinner tonight? You don't have to wait. Just leave a portion for me. I will be there at about 8 o'clock. Yang Ming said. Chapter 363. He went back to the dormitory and studied the ancient thread-bound book for a while. He didn't have the slightest clue, so he simply put the book under his pillow. He was going to find time to go to the bookstore to buy a classical Chinese dictionary. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to understand it. At noon, Yang Ming and Qin Mengyan had lunch together and told her about the movie tickets. Zhang Bin and Tian Donghua are going too. I just got 3 sets of couple tickets. You don't object, right? Asked Yang Ming. I object. Why would I object? Of course I don't object. It's more lively with more people. Qin Mengyan said, right, your junior high school classmate isn't going, right? Are you talking about Zhou Jiajia? Yang Ming sweated after listening. It seems that Qin Mengyan is still hostile to her. It's her. Yang Ming, you are not allowed to be too close to her in the future. Qin Mengyan nodded and whispered. Why? Yang Ming was a bit puzzled. I think she seems to like you. Qin Mengyan didn't know why she had such an idea. Zhou Jiajia hit it well that day, but it may be because of a woman's sixth sense that made Qin Mengyan feel threatened. She likes me. Are you kidding me? Yang Ming smiled and said, you can rest assured. Your husband isn't that popular. No one liked me for 3 years in high school. Don't you understand? I don't care. Anyway, you should stay away from her in the future. Qin Mengyan said. Okay, I got it. Yang Ming nodded after listening and didn't take it seriously. Because he felt that he couldn't like Zhou Jiajia at all. Qin Mengyan's worry was completely unnecessary. Therefore, in the afternoon, Yang Ming still sat with Zhou Jiajia. It couldn't be helped. Who asked him to sit like this before? Zhou Jiajia reserved a seat for him every day. Even if Yang Ming didn't like Zhou Jiajia, he couldn't embarrass her too much. Moreover, there weren't many empty seats in the classroom. But today Wang Jitao was surprisingly quiet. He didn't ask to change seats with Yang Ming. Instead, he sat in front and read. At night, Yang Ming came to Wu Zhongjia's house as promised. Today this kid was surprisingly well behaved. When Yang Ming knocked on the door, he asked who it was and took the initiative to open the door. However, Yang Ming discovered that this kid's face had a bruise today. I say, what happened to your face? Were you beaten up? Yang Ming asked. Lower your voice. Don't let my mom hear you. Wu Zhongjia quickly closed the door and made a shushing gesture. What's wrong? You don't dare to tell your family? Yang Ming laughed. Were you bullied? I told my mom that I slipped on the road. Don't tell her that. Wu Zhongjia begged. Slipped on the road? Your mom really believes you. It's obvious that you were beaten up with a fist. Yang Ming said coldly. I don't care. Anyway, I don't want my mom to worry. Wu Zhongjia said. I really couldn't tell. I thought you were quite unfilial. Yang Ming said sarcastically. Brother Yang, don't scold me. I'm fine now. I'll be fine tomorrow. Wu Zhongjia said. I'm too lazy to care about you, little brat. Instead of studying, you fight all day long. Yang Ming lectured Wu Zhongjia verbally, but he secretly felt ashamed. Wasn't he like this in the past? Right, Brother Yang, I want to ask you something. Can you promise me? Wu Zhongjia suddenly asked. What is it? If you don't say it, how can I promise you? Yang Ming said with a stare. That, Brother Yang, can you pretend to be my big brother tomorrow and go to school? Our teacher wants to find our parents. Wu Zhongjia whispered. Damn, you want me to pretend to be your parents? Yang Ming stared at Wu Zhongjia. Because of what? Fighting with a classmate? I said, Brother Yang, can you not scold me? Wu Zhongjia asked with fear. Say it, say it. Yang Ming waved his hand and said, I'm too lazy to scold you. I wrote a note to a female classmate. It was intercepted by our class monitor. Then he told the teacher. I beat him up after school. Wu Zhongjia said. Write a note to a female classmate? Is it a love letter? Yang Ming curled his lips. I didn't see it. You're in love at such a young age. However, I'm very suspicious. Were you the one who beat him up? You seem to be the one who was beaten up. Fuck. Just look at him. I beat him up with 2 punches. Wu Zhongjia said angrily. He has a big brother in the 3rd year of junior high. He called his big brother and the 2 of them beat me up together. Even so, I still won. Then I don't understand. Why did the teacher look for your parents? Yang Ming asked. Our class monitor told the teacher that I beat him up. Wu Zhongjia said. So that's the case. Do you know why he told the teacher? Yang Ming asked. I don't know. He deserves to be beaten up? Wu Zhongjia said casually. Yang Ming shook his head. It's not that he deserves to be beaten up. It's that you didn't beat him up properly. When you beat him up until he didn't dare to tell the teacher, then you'll be considered victorious. Wu Zhongjie nodded thoughtfully. After a long time he said 3 words, "That makes sense. Okay, I can do it tomorrow, but I hope it's the last time." Yang Ming promised. "Right, looking at your family situation, your dad is a very powerful person, right?" "My dad builds houses." "What's wrong?" Wu Zhongjie asked. "It's good. Then you don't have to be afraid of your class monitor finding someone to set you up," Yang Ming said. He didn't want what Wang Jitao did to him to happen to Wu Zhongjie. "Set me up?" "Right, Brother Yang, I heard that our class monitor's brother knows a few people in the underworld. What if they find someone to teach me a lesson?" Wu Zhongjie asked. "Teach you a lesson? You don't know how to teach them a lesson?" Yang Ming said disdainfully. "Aren't you a black belt in karate?" Yang Ming relied on his own strength to fight for his position in the past. "It's true that I'm a black belt in karate, but I can't win against so many people," Wu Zhongjie said bitterly. "Then you just have to endure. They can't beat you to death, right? When they leave, you beat your class monitor to death the next day until he doesn't dare to find someone," Yang Ming said. "That's a good idea." Wu Zhongjie nodded his head in surprise. Wu Zhongjie was thinking about how to teach their class monitor the next day. He definitely didn't have the mood to study. Yang Ming explained a few questions to him. Seeing that he was absent-minded, he had to give up. He arranged a time to go to school the next day, then he left Wu Zhongjie's house. Yang Ming went directly to Lu Weishan's house. Because it ended early today when Yang Ming arrived, Lu Weishan had just started to eat dinner. Yang Ming could be considered to be on the side. After dinner, Lu Weishan called Yang Ming to the study room. Then he picked up a piece of paper from the table and handed it to Yang Ming. Yang Ming was a little confused. He opened the paper and saw the words Lu Weishan written on it. "This is..." Yang Ming looked at Lu Weishan inexplicably. "Godfather, isn't this your name?" "Yes, it's my name." "Didn't you want to open a jewelry company?" Lu Weishan explained with a smile. "I thought about it for a long time. I feel that there are too many jewelry companies in the country now. If you want to achieve results, it won't be easy. So you must win by surprise." "Win by surprise?" Yang Ming hesitated for a moment. He seemed to understand something. "Godfather, you mean that the brand of the jewelry company is called Lu Weishan?" "Yes." Lu Weishan nodded and said, "I think that the jewelry company you open should be targeted at those rich people. Because there are too many jewelry companies for the masses, it will be difficult for you to stand out among them. Moreover, the most important point is that my name is still very popular in the upper class. So your jewelry company doesn't need to advertise much. As long as the products are good, you won't have to worry about customers." "Godfather, you mean that we only do high-quality products? Which means luxury products?" Yang Ming understood what Lu Weishan meant. "Yes, the most expensive thing is the quality, not the quantity. Why are so many handmade workshops world famous? Why aren't those modern big factories as famous as them?" Lu Weishan said, "This is because the output of handmade workshops is low. The things that they make are unique, but this kind of thing is sought after by those rich people." "But Godfather, you are already so old. You still have to do it personally." Yang Ming frowned and said, "I think it's a bit inappropriate. Why do I have to do it personally? My name is just a brand, a name. Of course, your company has to hire some powerful designers. But I can hang the title of your consultant." Lu Weishan said, "Now you can rest assured, right?" Yang Ming couldn't help but feel happy after hearing it. For a while, Yang Ming had been worried about the company's model. After listening to Lu Weishan's words today, Yang Ming had a feeling of being enlightened. You're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxiao Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.